Ladies and gentlemen, Xenogears. Before we go any further, I want to say shout outs and thank you to Old Griffin, Asdamine, David Wilder, Deep Fry, DZ Maven, EP Howery, Easel Games, Hariant, Justin T 1977, Catalin Cormendi, Catabo, Keone, Kobiaga, Creek Alugo, Lateralis, Linkensky. A lot of names I don't recognize. Or rather, I do recognize all these names. I haven't seen a lot of these names in a while. So a lot of lost names here. Ahem. Linkensky, off the deeper end, Questy, Riker's Beard, Raptor 1, Rienku, Ciela, oh, no, not Ciela, Spencer, Team Zack Attack, Thomas Vaughn, a noble name, Upon a Time, Walker, World's Best Pants, Zlartek, Zobe, person who put this game on the list, Colin Peluso, who I'm pretty sure doesn't watch me anymore, and our majority shareholders, which include Cookie Dude and Ciela, and Valerian Wraithfall. Thank you, all of you, for making this run happen and for torturing me. All right, so, and hi, Alex. This is another in the, no matter what, I'm probably not going to like the game, but I have no idea how it's going to review. That's the simplest way to put it. But first, thank you, Alex, for the sub, as always. I will jot that down for Expedition 33, Need of the Hollower. I have no mouth. Appreciate you. Yeah, I get your guesses in now. Do you think this game will be better or worse than Chrono Cross? I have no idea. Because I've never beaten Xenogears. Put yourself in the mindset of younger me, much younger me. After the heydays of you know the SNES RPGs, the really, really good SNES RPGs, there was this transition period, which I've actually already talked about when we were looking at Chrono Cross. And it was a very, so Square was very much in the let's try whatever phase of their existence. And every other company in the world's like, we can make JRPGs too. And so there's a lot of JRPGs that came out on the PS1, like seriously, several dozen. And as a direct consequence of that, I don't want to say they were bad because that's dismissive, but rather, this is very much a rough patch, is what I would call this. This is people are figuring out how to make games, how to make JRPGs, and most importantly of all, how to make 3D happen, because this is the PS1 era, and just like everything else, the PS1 era was rough for JRPGs. Yeah, big, wild, unknown land here for a lot of people. So this is a whole lot of, pretty similar to J. Palmer, because some of the Doom clones were good, and most of them were not. I'm not going to name names, that's not what I'm here to do. The point here is that in the midst of this, a duo named Tetsuya Takahashi and Kaori Tanaka had come up with two basically completely separate ideas for stories. One was about an amnesiac soldier with multiple personalities. The other one, which is very cloud-based from Arkham 7, the other one was about a woman who was like the last remnant of an ancient technological civilization who ended up being the mother of all humanity. And these two completely unconnected ideas, these two kind of worked together, pitched, and said, hey, we can make this. And they pitched it as a sequel to Chrono Trigger. They pitched it as a Final Fantasy VII. In both cases, they were told no. But because this is that era, this is the era of let's just try stuff, rather than telling them to go home and get back to work, they were like, why don't you make it its own thing? Why don't you make it into its own new property? And they're like, okay. And then they put it under Hiromichi Tanaka. Now, we've actually talked very recently about how one of the upsides and technically also downsides of how Japanese companies tend to work, at least within the video gaming space, is if you keep working there and putting up with all the horrible work culture, eventually you will get kicked upstairs and you will be given a chance to headline your own projects. Tanaka is an excellent example of this. He actually started off as a programmer for Square, worked as over on Final Fantasy 1, for God's sakes, to show how far back he goes. He was finally given his own project to headline with Secret of Mana. Now, Secret of Mana, I don't want to comment on the quality of it right now, but it was a very troubled and difficult production, at least in part, for no fault of his own, right? Then he worked on Trials of Mana, which that didn't okay, that was a bit of a troubled production. But then he worked on Xenogears, which is a very troubled production. But it's okay, because then he worked on Chrono Cross, which was a very troubled production. Then he started producing FF11, and then he went on to produce Final Fantasy XIV 1.0, at which point his career died. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad project manager, but there's a bunch of evidence in front of me just staring at my face. Anyways, yeah, okay, so yeah, this guy is the one in charge of this project and is probably at least partially responsible for something. We'll talk about it in just a second. The main headliners for the project were the aforementioned writing duos, both of whom have repeatedly gone out of the way to share more or less equal credit on the creation of Xenogears. Just Xenogears, by the way. And I mention that because I'm going to derail for a second. This doesn't really have anything to do with Xenogears, but I have to share this. So pause here. Some of you are probably aware of the fact that after Xenogears, several people went on to make Xenosaga 1, 2, and 3. And then a lot of the people who worked on that went on to make Xenoblade. Xenoblade 1, and then Xenoblade X, and then Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade 3. And for all intents and purposes, they're working on a Xenoblade 4 right now. Here's the thing. The woman in question, the wife, Miss Soria is her pen name. I'm not sure. I think that's the simplest way I could phrase that. Because there's a really weird hole of information here. So she and he both worked on Xenosaga 1, along with Mitsuda, actually. And then all three of them, along with a lot of other people, all got kicked off the project in the middle of, or rather, like, very, very early in the development of Xenosaga 2, at which point 2 was handed off to a new team, and then 3 was done by a completely new team. So, what? Now, she actually, I was trying to figure out what the hell happened because I looked up her credits and I found out that after her work on Xenosaga 2 and I think it's Pied Piper, something like that, she stopped working in the industry entirely. She has no credits to her name. Now, hang on. This is going to sound weird, but that doesn't mean she's not working in the industry. It just means she's not getting credit for it. Now, okay, so it was Pied Piper, I was right. This is very strange. So she was working on this whole project, and then something happened. And yeah, you get it. Like, my theory is that she's been a ghostwriter ever since, because the Xeno series and he are still full tilt in terms of writing. And they've been writing a lot. The Xeno series are known for being huge for a reason. There's a ton of dialogue there and a ton of character there. And frankly, a lot of that stuff has her fingerprints on it, because we actually have a pretty good idea of some of the individual things she's worked on. But I wanted to share this. Back in the day, back in 2005, she had a FAQ up on her page, which actually shared a bunch of information because people would ask her questions and she would answer them. Then she shut that down. But this is the internet, so of course I have a copy of it. She then put up a second page, which was also shut down, and I have a copy of that one as well. I have to share some of these questions, though, because these are informative. You know how someone could not say anything, and yet the way they say it is still informative? So the first question on the list is, how could you desert the series, you traitor? Her answer is, I never did. A couple of years ago, the new team decided to refresh the series. Simply, I was one of the people not invited to the new voyage. Ouch. And then, of course, next question. Why would you make such a stupid decision to leave? These questions get worse, by the way. One of the questions is, do you have marital problems? Just now, there's some legitimate. These are verbatim. I'm reading these word for word right here. Did Takahashi send you home? Her response to that one was no. As you officially know, he is not in a position to make the decision, because remember, he was canned too. Then there's this question. This one struck me. This one hit me right across the cheek. I wasn't even the recipient here. Your leaving doesn't really matter. Episode 2 will go well in America. Now, first of all, saying that one of the principal writers, one of two principal writers, doesn't matter for a game doing well is certainly a hell of a take. But second of all, her response to that was, and I quote, "Thank you for letting me realize my worthlessness. Enjoy episode 2." Now, hang on. Let's skip down a little bit here. So, a lot of this is just what the hell ever, but there's 3 questions that really, really came to my mind that kind of helped get across what was actually happening here. The first was, you may be an expensive artist. Remember, she actually does a lot of drawings as well. So they kicked you out, isn't it? To which she says, my average annual income is less than 1/10 of a company employee's annual income. Do you think it's expensive? Second question, is the parent company responsible for the changeover? To which she says, no, the parent company has been kind enough to allocate reasonable budgets, development times, and promotional campaigns for the series. I've been very grateful to them for their help. Okay, so that feels like a lie. Which brings me then to question number 3. Come on, speak out about the situation. Don't be so cryptic, please. To which she then says, no, I cannot. There are inquiries I can answer, and many inquiries I shouldn't answer. All of this, I've been studying the industry a long time, and Japanese development in particular. All of this, yeah, I don't even want to, we're going to get to Xenogears in a second, screams to me that something legal happened, or was being threatened with happening. Both are functionally the same thing for these purposes. And so there was a deal struck, and she probably backed away from all of that because the drama of any kind of legal threat or legal issue like that, especially in Japan, is probably the kind of thing she never wanted to deal with. So she was just like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, no, exactly. Anybody who knows how Japanese NDAs work, they're insane, quite frankly. So what most likely happened is something happened, and when they were switching over to the new company, which I think was Konami, actually. I'll have to double check myself on that. She, there was some drama, and she was pushed out, probably because she was female, and because Japanese work culture is pretty anti-woman too, especially in that era. Namco, thank you, it was Namco, not Konami, my bad. Namco and Konami sit in the same space in my head. I don't really know why. Anyways, and as a consequence, she went off to never work in the industry again, whereas her husband has kept pushing out, banger after banger after banger for many, many years since. I don't have much else to add to that. I do want to mention that just while we're here, just for funsies, just to connect this game to Cross once again, Masato Kato actually did do some of the writing in this. He wrote for Maria, I actually don't know who that is, Choo Choo, I actually do know who that is, and the Lohan Village, as well as some of the NPC stuff for Shavat, damn it, Shavat, excuse me. I just thought I'd mention that because there's actually a lot of little connecting threads here between Xenogears and Chrono Cross, which we're kind of covering in reverse. And yes, for those of you not aware, she wrote the backstory and character stuff for Edgar, Sabin, Duncan, and Vargas over in Final Fantasy VI. Anyways, moving on. Everybody talks about the connections this game has to Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VII, Parasite Eve, and obviously Chrono Cross. So, yeah, exactly, Rex. But the funny thing is they really wanted to do a dark story instead of your typical FF affair. Pause, roll my eyes, back to it. So, Tanaka has flat out stated in multiple times in multiple interviews that the biggest thing that she and her husband were inspired by were 3 writers, well, 3 people, and 2 movies. I'm going to pronounce all of these wrong. So there's Nietzsche, first of all, duh. Freud, and Jung. Now, there's a common trend there. There's actually 2 common trends. All 3 of those people were horrible misogynists, and all 3 of them are hacks. But anyways, moving on. They were also inspired by 2 movies, and this amuses the hell out of me. One of the movies was Soylent Green, and the other movie was THX 1138. Show of hands, how many of you have seen either of those films? As it happens, I have seen both of them. And honestly, I feel like I'm one of the rare few, because I mean, most people have probably been aware of THX 1138 because it's connected to George Lucas, and so that kind of gives it a bit of star power. But most people haven't seen Soylent Green, in my opinion. In fact, literally last night, I asked a few of my friends about Soylent Green, and I got the exact same response from almost all of them. They knew the big twist and had never seen the film because it just kind of drifts into social and it drifts into cultural consciousness, right? For those of you not aware, Soylent Green's big reveal of what Soylent Green is happens about 2 minutes before the end of the film. There's a whole film before that. Yeah, I feel like I'm repeating myself because I feel like I just talked about this like last week. But yeah, there was a whole thing. But the point is, Soylent Green is a big, heavily dystopian future where everybody's lives have to be controlled and the people have to be harvested as resource byproduct in order to keep society going. That sounds familiar. TXX 1138, it doesn't have much of a plot, to be quite honest with you. It's more of a film experiment. But it's also a dystopian hellscape future of a bunch of people trapped in a big, beatific, white, very white kind of atmosphere kind of a thing. It's this sort of very controlled environment. This sounds familiar. Anyways, and yes, that's the George Lucas one. Yeah, it has a very distinct aesthetic to it. Anyways, I should also mention here, there's a book called Perfect Works, which to my knowledge has never been translated to English officially, but there's plenty of ways to get a hold of a copy of it in English. I'm not going to be referring to it. I realized partially through here, Resident Arc has done a much better job of covering this game. They have a 40-hour podcast. Go watch that. 2, I'm already not doing great. And I'm already doing a lot of homework on the side to try and keep up with all of the information that I'm having to churn through for these games. So I could go through the Perfect Works and actually discuss all of the in-depth information that it gives us about episodes 1 through 4, as well as the tiny details we have about episode 6. But honestly, yeah, let's just move on. Honestly, all I'm going to share is that Xenogears was originally, and this was intended from word go to be episode 5 of 6. And Perfect Works is pretty much the only real concrete receipts we have of that original story arc. If you zoom the camera out a little and squint just a bit, you could see a whole lot of Xenogears episode 1 through 4 in the Xenoblades. I guarantee you with absolute certainty that that is where they have decided to continue that story arc, because that's how the business goes. If you have a story idea and you want to tell it and you can't because the rights to the story when you finish the first episode are held hostage by one company and the rights to the other story held hostage by the other company, then you just go file off the serial numbers and do it again because you want to tell the story, damn it. It's actually extremely common. Anywho, moving on. Music. I want to talk about music. So, obviously this is Yasunori Mitsuda, someone I'm infamously not very fond of. But I want to mention something more interesting about that. So Mitsuda kind of burned himself out on Chrono Trigger. Actually ended up going to the hospital at one point. And then was like, okay, I got this. I'm going to go, I want to have my own soundtrack. Just me. No one holding my hand. No one helping me out with this. And they're like, sure thing, here's Xenogears. So he burned himself out on Xenogears. It is weird to me to think that Xenogears is Mitsuda's second soundtrack, by the way. This is his equivalent of I think it's Rad Racer for Uematsu, to put it into perspective. Yeah, stomach ulcers. You like stomach ulcers, right? Please, Japan, stop killing your creative types. Jesus Christ. Something that's been often reported, and at this point is kind of is entering more public consciousness, is that, oh my god, the executives were like, screw you, you're dumb, we're going to chop you off. And so they came up with the infamous Disc 2 solution. Jason Schreier actually reached out just a few years ago, so it wasn't actually all that long ago, to Takahashi himself and asked him directly about this issue. It's like, well, what actually happened? And Takahashi said, no. That's not what happened at all. Takahashi was very polite in that interview. I actually read it. But I'm going to translate a little bit here. So they were under Tanaka, right? The producer who can't produce, who's a terrible project manager. And he decided that the best way to start a brand new IP on a mostly brand new console with brand new people who had no idea what they're doing was to then, on top of all that, put out a gigantic JRPG, which, unlike Chrono Cross, which you remember was intended to be like 10 hours, this was supposed to be like the 70-hour chonker, right? And then do the whole thing in 3D. Originally, the whole game was supposed to be full 3D. More like, say, I guess FF10 would be one of the first games that managed, or I guess Chrono Cross actually did not say it out loud. But, like, again, what? The whole game was going to be 3D because they were insisting, no, we can do this. Push the technology, push them. For some strange reason, they couldn't quite manage to learn game design and code and a new console and a new engine while simultaneously keeping with, a typical budget and timeline. So, yeah. No, they bit off way more than they could handle. And yeah, I agree with Rax. They should have had Sakaguchi, who is a much better project manager. I actually disagree with Sakaguchi about many things professionally, but I have a tremendous respect for him as a project lead because the dude knows what he's freaking doing. So the unique approach to Disc 2, which we will get there, was actually Takahashi's compromise. The original suggestion from up top was at the end of Disc 1, which is when the crew escapes from Solaris, just cut it. Have that be the end of the game. And he pushed back against that, like, no, that would be terrible. Everyone's going to hate that. So he came up with a solution that is terrible and everyone hates. I'm not blaming him, to be very clear about that. I'm just saying one of the most common things I've heard for literal years at this point is that when I finally get to reviewing Xenogears, is that it will review very badly because of Disc 2. I'm not 100% sure about that, to be quite honest with you, but we will get there. But there's one last thing I want to talk about. Actually, technically, two last things I want to talk about. I mentioned how the production was mishandled. Let's talk about localization. Now, I actually already brought this person up because, Richard Honeywood is awesome, and most of Square owes their success outside of Japan to him, literally. This game is actually one of the biggest reasons why. He did some great stuff over on Chrono Cross. He did an excellent job of localizing, and he invented that scripting algorithm which added accents to people, and that's great. Awesome, fantastic. But he worked on Xenogears. He was actually one of the only people who was willing to work on Xenogears because given the severe religious themes and the issues and, well, how do I put this nicely? The misconceptions in the office about the Western audience, it was presumed that working on this would be career poison, which is funny because this made Richard's actual career, go figure. So everyone said, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to touch it. And he more or less did this game by himself. And to be frank, it shows. This is the exact same problem, if you're paying attention, that Ted Woolsey went through. And Ted Woolsey, after, I think Chrono Trigger was his last. It was Chrono Trigger Secret Elements, one of the two. After Ted Woolsey's final game, he walked away. He was like, this is dumb, and this is horrible, and I'm never doing this again. And I don't blame him for that. Working on Secret of Mana alone was just a nightmare for him. So, because it has religious elements, Triax. You can't have religious stuff in a video game. Come on. There's actually a lot of history behind that. It's dumb, especially at this era. Moving on. So Richard Honeywood agreed to do it. Like I said, he did some good stuff. This is his exact quote. When asked how to describe the process of localizing Xenogears, he gave a one-word answer, which was the word hell. He crunched like crazy. The dude, this is not a joke, the dude literally slept at his desk to push this thing out. Now, this is interesting to think about for a second. Yeah, no kidding, Dark Ray. Woolsey was burnt out, 100%. And Honeywood almost was burnt out, but what's really strange here is that Woolsey kind of backed away. His response to being ground up by Square was to leave. He went off to do other things, and he kept doing his own thing, but he bailed. Honeywood stuck with it, and as a consequence of that, he garnered a lot of respect from the audience. Sorry, not from the office, not the audience. Although he got a lot of respect from the audience, too. Respect, man. The important part about that, so for those of you who don't know how Japanese work culture works, respect, the pipeline of who you report to and who you kowtow to, metaphorically as well as literally, that's all a really big deal over there. I talked about this extensively in going through both the Marios and the Zeldas, because that has been problematic many times. So this guy, yeah, no kidding. So this guy, because he earned so much respect, the other people in the office actually listened to him. So he went to several of the executives. He went above Tanaka's head and said, this is stupid. This is unworkable. This is untenable. You cannot treat your people like this. And they were like, and he's like, no, you've got to fix this. And they said, all right, fine, do it. And they pretty much put Honeywood in charge of overhauling the localization process. So he came up with whole new management structure techniques to localize games from Japanese into English. Techniques that were first employed in Chrono Cross. And of all the problems Chrono Cross has, localization is not one of them. It's a very well localized game. You've probably heard me say for years that the Final Fantasy series, the first game that was actually well localized in FF was FF9. Richard Honeywood is why. And then 10 took a dip because spoken word. But then when we skipped back over to 11 and to 12, once again, they were using his best practices and actually using the policies he'd lined up. And here we are, actually good localization. This is why I mentioned, I think yesterday actually, that Richard Honeywood is one of the singularly most responsible people for the fact that Square finally figured out what localization means. One last thing before we move forward. Actually, two more things, excuse me. Yeah, no kidding, Dark Red. So, Xenogears was actually very well received in Japan, and it was doing well financially. And obviously, I mean, it turned into a whole franchise unintentionally twice. So they had already greenlit a sequel to Xenogears. No, not Xenosaga. It was going to be Xenogears Episode 1. Then Spirits Within happened. It is immeasurably amusing to me, in like the most darkest possible way, how much Spirits of Within completely destroyed Square so much that as of this literal day, we are still feeling the effects of that. So much money, so much debt, so much goodwill, so much everything was burned during the creation of Spirits Within. And yeah, it was a big swing. It missed wildly, and it led immediately to a big push into the MMO space, which led to the creation of FF11 and FF14 1.0, which was another miss. This completely destroyed Square. They're, as of this very day, they are arguably not back in the black because they are kind of clenching on to FF14 Modern as their lifeline. I've mentioned before that ARR literally salvaged the company. They were already going through the preliminary paperwork of filing for bankruptcy, and that's one of the reasons why they went ahead and greenlit totally overhauling 1.0 into ARR. So, what's the big problem with Spirits Within? Okay, that's a huge discussion. I'm trying to think of how to summarize that. It's a movie, and they had no idea what they were doing. Hollywood is a different animal, and that's the simplest way I can summarize it. I'm actually going to cut myself off there because I've actually studied Spirit Within. Of course, I freaking have. I'm a big movie geek, and I've studied a lot of how Hollywood and Hollywood accounting and accounting in Hollywood operate. And yeah, Square lit a bunch of money on fire. You are going to be extremely disappointed, Flair. I just want you to know that. So, yeah. Anyways. So yeah, Xenogears 2.0 nuked, and I think that's like the 5th game we've covered so far. And we'll continue to cover games that were completely destroyed by Spirits Within. The last little thing I wanted to mention, just one tiny little thing, is I wanted to talk about my own personal history with this game. And yes, Smith is a legend. He just doesn't have anything to do with Xenogears, which is why I didn't bring him up here. What's wrong with Spirits Within, Ram? That's going to be like the whole day, Wenlock. And I'm going to have to do research for that. And that's only like a month out. No, it is 2 months. That is weird to think about. Polemic Day is only 2 months away right now. So I've never beaten Xenogears. This will be my first time. I'm looking forward to it. I anticipate cheating, even more than I anticipated it back in Chrono Cross. I do have some cheats. Hopefully they actually work. I haven't tested them yet. I got to a certain point of the game and I just put it down. And it wasn't like anything specific about the way. I'll point it out when we get there. I'm actually curious how far into the game it is. I got to a certain point and I was sick of it. I was sick of the combat. I was sick of the fuel system. I was sick of the music, which I did this, right? And yeah, nothing about it was catching me. It was a very anime game, which felt, and big proviso here, I'm not trying to sound insulting, but at the time it felt like it was trying too hard to be an edgy teenager story. Lots of blood and boobs, right? You know the type, you know the archetype. And so anime plus blood and boobs plus really frustrating gameplay, and you know I'm a gameplay guy. I was good. I was like, all right, I'm not enjoying this. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this and pick up something else instead. And so I never actually finished the game. I know, right? Now, as a consequence of this, I obviously don't have a lot of personal experience with the later parts of the game, the whole Disc 2 problem. I never got to Disc 2. I'll go and give that away. I never got. Everyone says, oh, you couldn't Disc 2, right? No. No, I never got that far. So, we'll see. I am very curious how it's going to review, because I have no idea. Oh, one last tidbit. This was also an era in which I had access to a whole bunch of other games which were really, really good, even on the PS1, at least from my perspective. So that was not helpful, right? I've talked about that problem before. It's hard, especially in the era, to appreciate a game when you just have so much better right over there, right? I'll use a direct comparison. When FF14 Stormblood was coming out, WoW, I think it was Legion. WoW Legion was coming out, and it's like, it takes a moment of like stepping outside of the situation and the times to be able to try and analyze something as neutrally as possible, which is what I intend to do starting today. Thank you for enduring my ramblings. Let's go ahead and see how it goes. But before I hit start, one last question for you. Obviously, the guessing game exists. Do you think this game will score better than Chrono Cross? Not be enjoyable, because I hated Chrono Cross. But that's not what I mean. Do you think it will score well? Because that's detached from my own personal opinion on the matter. Just for you guys. You can tell it's from the 90s because it's got an X in it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. By the way, here's our extensive options from the menu. Would you like stereo, wide stereo, or mono? X. I mean, it's good branding, legitimately. It was very easy to advertise Xenogears because big red painted X, right? Some marketing person probably deserves a raise for coming up with that logo. Wait, no, I wasn't ready. I didn't hit yes. I didn't hit go. I actually don't know. Well, you get to hear this again because it screwed up on me. Hang on. Valerian! Already sabotaging me. Okay. Final Fantasy 11 is going to score at 0. Dragon Age 4. And WoW Midnight. You got it. Thank you, Valerian, as always. Always appreciate you, Brian. Thank you. So, um, no, stop! God damn it! I can't put the controller down for more than a few seconds. Ah! Come on! Okay, pause. Okay, so yeah, Xenogears is dead in the water. We will never have a return to Xenogears. It's dead and gone, entirely because of licensing issues. The same reason as pretty much always for these kind of things. And that's really all there is to that. Most of the people who worked on Xenogears currently work at Monolith Soft on the Xenoblade series. Some of the people who also had rights to several of the Xeno stuff, that's over at Bandai Namco. I guarantee you they lost the source code, because they lost all the source code in this era. This is pre-FF8, as a reminder. So, or at least was development before FF8. And they lost the source code of games after that. Yeah, not the other Monolith. Monolith Soft. At least I think. Of course, now I'm questioning myself. Anyways, what you're about to see. So for those of you who haven't played this game or don't know anything about this game, I want you to do me a favor, legitimately. We're going to watch a movie, okay? It's like 5 minutes long. And then I want you to tell me what the hell is going on in it, okay? Okay. Very, 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 very loosely set vectors. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. One and only thing I do like about this movie, it gets across the scale of how large this ship is. It's like 40 clicks long.
An emergency. Level 1 alert.
Omega 1 restarting. Alpha 1 genome restructuring. Confirming exon replacement. Base code 81.
There he is.
100 million. Its speed is overwhelming. Alpha 1 to raise your central. Access confirmed. Initializing fake net. Disconnected. Activating emergency shelter. Denied. Contamination is spreading widely. Captain.
Cut off the cables manually.
Roger. Activating self-destruct bolts. Confirming. No good, nothing happened. Omega 1, they are attacking. We can't stop them. 98% of our weapons have been taken over. The autopilot system Faust has been accessed, and its phase space logic is being rewritten. Ergo area is increasing. An internal plane is forming. Switching to space displacement mode. Alpha 1, confirming transfer of coordinate codes. Coordinates input, coordinate NX128, EZ061, the main planet.
Dan, so they're planning on attacking. Engine room. Activate the emergency sealing system. Engine room, engine.
You shall be as gods, is what that says.
See that all civilians and passengers are safely transported to the escape shuttles. I will send a dispatch after evacuation is complete. I am evacuating the ship. All of you, evacuate now.
Evacuate. Evacuate. Evacuate the ship immediately. All passengers please board the shuttles in a calm and orderly fashion.
And then just to be a dick, Ignore the Star Trek sound effects. I will say this. He gets a lot of characterization for having like 2 minutes of screen time. Yeah, that's it. He's dead. I believe there were 2 survivors from this crash. Technically. No spoilers, Venters, but I mean, I already said technically. What do you want from me? So, that's the intro. Young me looked at that and was amazingly de-invested in it. I probably don't even have to explain why, really. It is a hell of an NMIDIS res, which we all know Square is absolutely in love with. They just... Of course it's a no-spoiler stream. I mean, all our streams are no-spoiler streams. It's standard policy. I guess you're new. Hi. We're not giving away anything. I did go, what the hell did I just watch? In a way that immediately de-invested me. It just looked like a bunch of noise and nonsense. It also cheated, but we won't get into that just yet. It was also anime, and as we've talked about many, many times, I just don't like anime. I never have. Pokemon Legends, Hi-Fi Rush, and Dragon Age 4. Thank you, TSB, as always. So, yeah. Some alien techno-parasite took over the ship and killed everyone. Okay, cool. Why was it on board the ship if this was an expected outcome? Okay, good question, good question. Any other thoughts? I mean, yeah, the Evangelion vibes are real, which is funny when you think about it. Oh, Penne. Easy answer, SoundCloud. However, older me, whose job it is to review this, has to acknowledge that that is a good cutscene. It still cheats, like I said. We can't actually talk about that for a while. It is well animated, it is well characterized. I also have to admit I'm a little bit biased because I understand everything that's going on in that cutscene now. Obviously, I didn't back then. That's one of the reasons I wanted your guys' opinions. Meanwhile, the continent of Ignis in the northern hemisphere of our world. On this, the largest continent, a war has been waging between 2 countries for hundreds of years. In the north of the continent lies the Kislev Empire, who run around on polar bears for some reason. In the south lies the desert kingdom of Ave. The war has been going on for so long that the people have forgotten the cause, knowing only the pointless circle of hostility and tragedy. The chronic war obsession was soon to encounter a devastating change. This is due to the Ethos, an institution that preserves our world's culture, repairing tools and weapons excavated from the ruins of an ancient civilization. At once, both countries excavated these ruins, and had the Ethos repair the discoveries, in order to increase their military power. The various weapons excavated from the ruins greatly changed the form of warfare. The outcome of battles between the 2 countries was no longer determined by man-to-man combat, but by gears, giant humanoid fighting machines, that were obtained from deep within the ruins. Eventually, after continuous swings in the state of the war, Kislev gained the upper hand. The major factor behind this lay the enormous difference in the amount of resources buried in their ruins. But suddenly a mysterious military force appeared in the continent of Ignis called Gebler. This force decided to make contact with Aver. With the assistance of this Gebler military force, Aver was able to recover from being hopelessly outnumbered to being back on even standing with Kislev. Then, taking further advantage of its newly gained momentum, Aver started to capture one territory after another from Kislev, showing no indication of slowing down in their invasion campaign. The remote village of Lahan, in the outskirts of Aver, near the border with Kislev. This is where it all begins. Yeah, you've heard of the doomed hometown trope, right? Oh, wow, that's rough. Flashing lights warning, and also nausea warning. Damn you! Did I not respond to it out loud, TSB? Dragon Age 4, Hi-Fi Rush, and Pokemon Legends EA. I already wrote it down. Did I not say it out loud? Well, either way, saying it out loud. Thank you. Hiya! Yeah, Braglin's reaction is pretty similar to my own. I was just immensely de-invested. I also have to admit, and this is a purely personal take, I don't like mechas. I never have. So one of the game's major draws wasn't a draw for me. It's like a game billing itself on having, you know, poker as a major mechanic. It's like, okay. What on earth are you? No matter how often I knock you down, you still get up. Hi, C. Okay, how do you pronounce his name? Anybody? I've been saying Ceton in my head for years, but... Faye, stop. You must not fight here. Boy, are you persistent. Damn it, how come? Why did it have to come to this? Yeah, it's a good showcasing of one of the mechas next to, you know, a person. Wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. It was all just a painting. So, I mentioned how they wanted the whole game to be 3D. They couldn't do that. So instead they went the Breath of Fire 3 route, where the sprites are sprites and the backgrounds are 3D. The thing is, Breath of Fire 3 went out of its way to actually have very simplistic backgrounds, specifically to lower the workload of the developer team. It's almost like they actually had a good producer and director on their team who knew that you needed to not overwork your developers. Here they went way overboard with the backgrounds. And while it looks nice, well, that's why Disc 2 is Disc 2. That about does it. Alright, now for a short break. Hang on. Options? Nope. Please tell me there's some on. Are there no options? Oh god. Six ventures. Oh no, this is extremely ambitious for the time. Please remember they started development of the game before FF8. Which arguably looks worse than this, but like... yeah. And yes, this is actually one of the biggest reasons why they wanted the full 3D thing. They wanted to be able to move the camera around. Good morning, Sean. Hello, Faye. You're looking well today. My, how time flies. Why, it's already been 3 years since you came to our village. When they first saw you brought in all bloody and soaking, tell you the truth, they didn't think you were going to make it. That strange masked man who carried you that day, do you think that maybe he was your real father? Whoa there, lady. I was just going to get some coffee and milk. Don't you remember anything? Why, they see you had terrible nightmares and constantly called out for your father. Oh, let me wake up first, lady. Who is it? Oh, this is my morning coffee. Got it, got it. Who are you? What? What? You want me to look after this boy? Well, okay. But now you're so healthy and strong, and it's all thanks to our village chief Lee. My, should you be grateful. Free labor, woo! That while we're here. I mean, hang on. Silent Hill 1, is that on the PS2 or PS1? I just realized I don't actually know the answer to that question. Do I have Silent Hill 1? I might not, because I don't actually own it. Yeah, I don't. Okay, whatever. Yeah, this localization is very 90s Square. It's weird going from Chrono Cross, which had legitimately good localization, to this. You know, Faye, I'm sure our village chief thinks of you as his own grandson. Not having any family for all those years, living on his own for oh so long. That's why he cares so very dearly about you. Please, never do anything that would break his poor old heart. Don't destroy the entire village, Faye. We don't need a doomed hometown. Can we buck the trend? Can we have a different hometown? Just for once. Yo, hi there, Faye. Sorry for us all using your house like this. We have to talk about the big day tomorrow with the village chief. Yeah, tomorrow, huh? Your wedding with Alice. Now that's the big day. I hope it's going to be happy and joyful forever. Richard Honeywood, Ascended card was his name. Yeah, right, but it still hasn't hit me as reality, though. Hey, Timothy, I just wanted to thank both you and Alice. 3 years ago, I woke up in this village without a trace of my memory. Oh my god. I didn't know who I was, where I'd been, or what I'd been doing up until that day. I couldn't recall a single thing. Despite that, you and Alice sympathized with me and encouraged me to go on. If the two of you hadn't been there for me, I don't know what would have become of me. Timothy, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. And you and Alice had better live happily ever after. Yep, they're going to live long, happy lives. Everything's going to be fine. To me, it feels like I've always been friends with you ever since we were kids. It's called As You Know. We'll go on being friends forever. Forever! Can you go check with Alice? I still have stuff to discuss with my old man and the village chief, but I'm sure she'll be glad to have some company. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Anyway, I'll see you later. Oh, and I am really looking forward to the ceremony tomorrow. Yeah, there's like this little exposition fairy wandering around, and the fairy's got a giant basket of red flags, and they're just like... Red flag here... Red flag here. Everything's gonna be fine. Okay. This is Lahan, right? Where are we? It doesn't say. Where are we? What's the name of the town we're in? I know it's called Doomedville, but like... Yep, yep. It is Lahan. I was right. Woo! I mean, this is probably the most... What's a good word here? Genocidal? Doomed JRPG I've ever seen? Something like that. Hello there, Faye. Our Timothy is really a lucky boy to be able to marry such a beautiful girl like Alice. I hope you come up with some embarrassing tales to tell in your speech. I don't know whether to be happy or sad. Tomorrow our little Alice is going to become someone's wife. I knew this day would come. This is the worst part about bringing up a little girl. Sigh. Oh, it's you, Faye. We're in the middle of discussing Timothy and Alice's wedding arrangements. Hey, why don't you bring a girlfriend or two home once in a while? I'm sorry, you want me to bring 2 girlfriends home? Like, at the same time? Just because you live with an old man like me doesn't mean you have to hold back now, you hear? Wow, when I was young as you are, it seemed like every day I would... Never mind. Now, we still have important things to discuss. So don't get in the way now. Okay, jeez. You know, Faye, I'm sure our village chief thinks of you as his own grandson. Not having any family for all those years, living on his own for oh so long. That's why he cares so very dearly about you. Please never do anything that would break his poor old heart. Promise me. I don't like this kid. I actually remember him. So there you are, Faye. I have to talk to you about something. Why, hello there, Dan. You're lively today, as you are every day. Dan, don't be so rude. What's this barging in and all? Timothy's here too. I should just do a gnome voice for him. Butt out, Timothy. Until you marry my sister, you have nothing to do with me at all. I just have some business with my friend Faye. Humph. Anyway, Faye, I have something to talk to you about later. What is it, Dan? It sounds serious. Yeah, that's why I can't talk about it here. There's a certain person listening in who could cause us trouble. It's really important. We gotta talk. Seriously. One-on-one. Man-to-man. Well, who's gonna be the other man? Be seeing ya. Take care of yourself till tomorrow. Huh. What's up with him? As if tomorrow I'm gonna be that kid's brother-in-law. Ugh. That part isn't gonna be no honeymoon. Yo, Faye, Alice sure's gotten pretty, huh? Come to think of it, Alice, Timothy, and you were always together. I bet you also had a crush on Alice too, huh? Am I right? I mean... Oh, God, yeah, I might actually have to swap that button, because that's just in a weird place there. Why is X the jump button? Or triangle for you PlayStation people. You sure love Alice. Do I? I can't work under these conditions. No, Cosmos is over in Xenosagas, huh? The reason why most games only have portraits for important people is because work, right? That's workflow. That lowers the amount of resources and time that the artists have to spend on doing stuff. Simple. There's other reasons to that too, programming-wise, but that's the fundamental reason. So when you have a game like this where a huge number of people have portraits, and trust me, there's a lot of characters with portraits in this game. It just means more workload, straight up. Oh, it's you, Faye. What do you want? Finally, at my age, I've become able to live in peace. At this rate, I'll live to be 100! Hello, Faye. Tomorrow's Alice and Timothy's big day. Isn't it exciting? I know Alice will make a lovely bride. I hope a handsome prince comes into my life soon. To quote Yahtzee Croshaw, tragedy in 10. Alice and Timothy's wedding tomorrow is the talk of the town. I guess it's to be expected, though. It's one of life's biggest events. The women of the village are born, raised, married, and live out the rest of their lives here. Oh, so you're all inbred. Must be some happiness in that, but I've been thinking from time to time. Sometimes I wish I were born a man, so I could travel the world and live an ever-changing life. It's weird, isn't it? Really? Do you mean it? I knew you'd say that for me. Here, this is my very own homemade aquasol. Our bear cows love it. Try it out sometime. The choice of all bear cows. Right. No, I mean, yeah, Crazy Horse. But who would do that? Don't be ridiculous. This is the general store, although they don't have much of a selection. But then again, we're out in the country, so we can't complain too much. I feel lied to. I cannot jump on this person's head. Ah! Oh, this is going to take getting used to. There's no rebinding either. I mean, I can rebind the emulator. Lately, my legs have gotten weaker, causing me a great deal of trouble. I'd like to go and have Dr. Uzuki take a look, see if he can help me. But it's a tremendous task to go up that mountain path to visit the doctor. I must be getting old. That doctor's eccentric. Why else would anyone live up on a mountain peak like that? He should have moved closer to the village. Hey, you're good friends with the doctor. Ask him to move closer to the village for us. Are you going to help move his crap? Hey, Faye, next time teach me more of your kung fu stuff. I'm gonna get you. Oops. Oh, good, Faye. You ready to talk? As you know, tomorrow... By the way, I've already noticed 3 typos. Just in the intro. No shade. It's just, I'm an editor, right? I don't know what you want from me. I notice these kind of things. As you know, tomorrow's finally the day of my sister's wedding. So what I want to talk to you about is exactly that. Alice's marriage! Faye, to be perfectly honest with you, I've always wished you could have been my brother. It's still not too late. You could go steal Alice and run off with her. If you need me to help, I'd be glad to. Maybe odd for me to say this, but my sister's beautiful and a good cook. And this is just between you and me. But she's well endowed, too. Yeah, that's... So come on, go for it. No. You know, over in Resident Evil, it's a joke that Chris is constantly trying to get people to bang his sister. Just saying. Hey, what are you talking about, Dan? Timothy and Alice are both my best friends. You know I can't do that. Also, actually, I do want to say something real quick. I appreciate the fact that our character actually has a freaking voice. Yeah, I know that. Well, if you're going to be like that. But, if you change your mind, come talk to me. Right. Ugh. I mean, this game does have full backle nudity. You know the type. Where it doesn't actually show anything, but like, oh my god. She's clearly not wearing anything, but you can only see her back. More than once, actually. I'm telling you. Boobs and blood. There's plenty of both. Oh, I'm just contemplating what I should plant next. Well, apparently he was still talking. Whoops! Oh yeah, it doesn't care about male or female. It's just nudity. It's a lot of work just trying to raise crops, but it's an excellent feeling, Faye. In this great open land, new life emerges. I'm not saying we're doing it. It's just the earth, rain, and sun combining together to nurture these strive and new lives. We're just helping them out. Pumpkinberry, apple lily, radish. They all seem good. Yep, trampling that field. Stomp, 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 stomp. Oh no, it'll be very obvious when we meet our love interest prisoners. Alright, I expect you to have nuclear pasta by the end of the day, Zeiss. Get to it. Just because Alice is getting married doesn't mean you have to be sad. Wait, when I get bigger, I'll be a bride. Will you wait for me? No. So you don't care what happens to me, Fway? You're so cold-hearted. Don't talk to me. Humph. You... This town. Young one, beware. I can see it. Beware, beware. There's a dark and icy wind that blows where you are going. A wind that nurtures grief and resentment, inviting death from which there is no salvation. No one will be able to escape from it, but you, and only you, must eventually face up to that dark wind. Just kidding. I've always wanted to try saying that. Did I scare you? I'm really sorry. Have you heard the latest rumors about the High Elves? It's said that in the southern desert of Ave, there's a buried treasure all over the place. There's hundreds of people who are trying to strike it rich by digging everywhere. A single strike can make you totally rich. But then again, you never can tell how much is the truth. In life, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Bah. Oh my, welcome, Faye. You want to have some fun? Give the best service in Lahan, you know. Hey, Ellen, quit teasing the innocent kid. I know, it's just a joke, you blockhead. Gee, he's not sharp hearing. Anyways, maybe next time, okay, Faye? I'll be waiting. Rawr! Okay, so that is two females who have both tried to hit on us, and one guy who's trying to foist his sister on us, who also happens to be a friend of ours, and is getting married tomorrow. I mean, I get it. I look at Faye and it's just, whew. Ooh. You got a problem with me drinking at midday? How can I not be drinking, damn it? You got a problem, boy? I hate drunks. Ah, feelings mutual. I hate nosy people. So we both hate each other. Why don't you just leave me alone then, huh? Whoops, that's the menu button. If you get through the Black Moon Forest to the south here, you'll find the Kingdom of Fire, Ave. Instead of just wasting away here in this little mountain village, I should go have some fun in Ave. Beautiful girls, tasty liquor. Why, John, like myself, is bound to draw babes wherever I go. Ah, wouldn't that be good? Gramps always makes things out to be easier than they really are. It's actually quite a tremendous feat to get through that Black Moon Forest. All those dangerous beasts and fearsome fire-eating lizards live there. I tell you, it's better if you don't go near the place. I wouldn't need anything else if I could only live together with my family. Just the three of us. Why can't men understand something so simple? Ah, men. There you go. There's the pets. Pets have been given pets. God. I don't want to be derogatory, and again, I understand, but I gotta say, something else that pushed me off this game. The load times. Every single screen transition has to load all the new textures and 3D meshes. And this is the PlayStation 1, so every time you change sections... Ugh. Get used to that. That's every single screen. Every cell in the game will have that. Now, it varies based on how large the cell is and how complex it is, but you saw how long it was. Like, here, I'll demonstrate. Going into this tiny thing, that's just like a second. Cool. Going outside, there we go. And yeah, by the way, I'm on an emulator, which has several features I have specifically designed. In fact, I spent some time last night making sure all this stuff was on and running to try and speed this up a little bit. On real hardware, yeah, I had a PS1, the little mini thing. And, yeah, it didn't like this game. Darker asked a good question. What are we doing? I mean, Dan asked us to go talk to him, and we did, and now what? It's customary we don't let any men in to see the bride today. But you can be an exception. Aw. I'm not a real man. I mean, pretty much. So Crazy North asked what I preferred pre-rendered backgrounds with 3D sprites. I mean, hang on. This is a valid question. So let's compare and contrast. Let's look at another game that does the exact same thing as this. Now, these background sprites aren't very good. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. The brickwork in this game is not great. But that was, again, that was a management decision. I'm too boring of a person not to appreciate what Breath of Fire 3 did. Because what Breath of Fire 3 did was it bypassed hardware issues by limiting the scope of their ambition. And instead, they spent a tremendous amount of time on their sprites. I'm sorry, Breath of Fire 3's sprites are really, really, really good. They're some of the best sprite works in the business. They have lots and lots of frames. I mean, I know I'm just walking around. But like in combat, they have lots of frames elevation. They have tons of detailing to them, great color usage, very distinct. Yeah, the sheer amount of sprite frames in this game is bonkers. And yeah, Soten is another excellent example of a game. Hang on, let me see if I can just get into a fight. Okay, try not to notice where I am right now. Just don't think about where I am right now. Because you'll see what I mean. Like the brickwork is pretty much non-existent, right? Yeah, I'm in Blockland. Oh, right. Of course it's not loading because I don't have the disk loaded. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I can't get into combat, but you get the overall idea. My point is, this is the same design approach that Xenogears uses, but because they had a producer who knew what he was freaking doing, and I am going to put that blame on Tanaka. That is the manager's job. It is the manager's job, it is the producer's job to look at the situation and say, this is what we can do. This is what we are going to limit ourselves to, right? Xenogears is an extremely ambitious game, and I legitimately think it suffers for that. Now, hang on. Let's go ahead and come back to here really quick. So obviously, like, that brickwork is just loads better, right? But honestly, these sprites... they're good. Also, while we're here, I want to show you something. This is probably obvious, but because I don't like having headaches, I do a little thing to make this look a little bit better. What this game actually looks like is this. And, I'll go outside real quick so you can see that. Yeah, notice I could turn the scan lines on. There's not really a lot of reason to emulate that, though. Yeah, this is what the game actually looks like. Look at the difference, my god. Hang on one second. Let me check something. Pop out here. Do I have a save? I should have a save here. Yeah, here we go. Load state. So, this... It's not a great... Well, this is a good example of the other concept. So, sorry. So, this is what Chrono Cross did. This is what, honestly, most games of the PS1 era did. That you're looking at there, that's a picture. It's technically a chopped up picture. It's like, I want to say 3 separate images that have been chopped up to have different layers in where they're being rendered versus the sprite layers. So in other words, there's an emulation of transparency. But my point is, I do personally prefer this approach. I prefer, hang on. I prefer the approach of having a 3D model on a PNG. Now, there are still issues with this. I'm going to skip past this awesome cinematic. Final Fantasy IX Lord of Walker Theater. And yeah, there's this illusion of depth thing going on here. Yep, there we go. You see how I went in there? This is what I mean, because this is one image. But if you notice, I can kind of go under that awning only a little bit. Only a little bit. It's also worth noting this is a fairly large amount of work. Because what you have to do is you have to paint the image, right? Like, so someone has to sit down, run into Puck, who has a great voice actor. You should go watch the Little Rocket Theater. Someone has to sit down, paint the actual image. It's worth noting most of these images were actually 3D and renders, which were then they took a picture of. And then figure out more or less the exact angle of the shot. And then they had to say, okay, for this zone, for this cell which is using this background, we have to then go ahead and have the exact same angle relative to the camera so that the player, the actual character, looks like he's running on the surface of the actual ground. And they have to do little tricks too, like for example, the fact that I'm going under that little tidbit there. Do you see that? I'm kind of... You can actually see where the PNG was chopped to make that look. And you have to do tiny little stuff. I'm going to try and show this off here. Let me just try to walk over here. Do you notice how there's like a shading effect? It happens suddenly because it's just an effect that's layered on top of the entire sprite, like that, see? Point is, this is a lot of work. However, you know me, I do tend to really value things that, you know, someone puts a lot of work into that gives a really good result. And, oh, I think FF9 looks great. Now, FF9 is a bit cheating because this is basically a PS2 game. Honestly, a better example would be something like this. Okay, let me get to town. This game still came out after Xenogears. So, similar overall concept. You could see the pre-rendered background. It's really obvious that it's earlier because the mesh, the geometry of it is just simpler. It's a lot of basic vertices. And of course, the PNGing is still there, as you can see, because I'm behind this gas station stein here. So this is the trade-off, right? Sorry, this is a lengthy thing, but on the plus side, I didn't have to play Xenogears for a few minutes. This is the trade-off. You can do a lot of wonderful, beautiful stuff with this. It's very stylistic, too. If I can add one other reason why I like the painted backdrop, it is a style. It is a specific style to what the game can look like and how it approaches. It takes some work. It takes some effort. It wasn't my friend's PS1. It was actually my PS1. PS1 I still have, which doesn't work anymore and hasn't ever since. And yeah, it's easy. It's relatively easy to miss at a glance that it's not 3D. Look at that. They even bothered to do the leaves there. Now, FF8 also pulls a couple of other tricks like that, which irritates me. Did you see the artificial blurring of the background? It's a very, very fake version of depth of field. See that? That's actually why I came here specifically, was to show off that exact thing. Anyways. Someone asked about 7. I don't think... Do I have a save for 7? I do. So, here's the thing about 7. Some of the backgrounds in 7 look really good. even to this very day. Someone somewhere put a lot of work into some of these paintings, and frankly, the shot on the screen right now is an excellent example of that. Look at that. Really take in the sheer amount of detail you've got going on here for a second. It's actually kind of a little bit too stylized. It's one of those makes sense for visuals, not sense for logic situations. But still, this gets across the concept perfectly. Bricks, grids of giant chunks of whatever it's called, scaffolding, support struts, pipes. It gets across a vibe immediately, right? I do have to mention that FF7 has some really, really bad backgrounds too. Some areas just look, wow. I don't know what they were thinking there. A good example of that is underneath Cosmo Canyon, when you're going through the Cave of Key. A lot of those pictures are just, wow. Anyways, sorry. But I was asked to comment on the differences, and here we are. Let's go ahead and switch back to, Xenogears. Oh, yes. Let's go talk to Alice, our one true love. Oh, it's Alice's aunt. I mean, I'd bang her, too. I like older women. Why, hello, Faye. Have you come to visit our Alice? She's upstairs right now. But doesn't time fly? It's already been 10 years since my brother and his wife passed away. We did our best to raise the two children in their place. But now, as far as Alice is concerned, I can finally say my job is done. I know Timothy will take good care of her from here on. Now all that's left is Dan. I'm gonna have a hard time raising him to adulthood. Oh yeah, that's another good example, Rex. Yeah, 7's backgrounds vary in quality pretty well. Pretty hard. 8, I would say, has the same problem. Hello, Alice. Is that your wedding dress? Oh, she's got a portrait! Hey, oh, you startled me. I was just getting completely naked. Would you like to help me with that? Yes, it is. I just finished it. No, it's okay, it's okay. You get one freebie right before the wedding. I just finished it. It took more work than I expected. You did a great job there. It'll look wonderful on you, Alice. Congratulations. Also, I feel lied to. She doesn't have big boobs. What is it? Oh, nothing. I see. Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, she's crushing on us too, by the way. As a reminder, she's getting married tomorrow to someone else, and she's still crushing on us. Jesus Christ. Have you seen Dan? Yeah, he's outside, bragging as always. Ugh, that kid. I just told him I need an errand for him to run. Oh yeah? What kind of errand? It's for my wedding ceremony tomorrow. I was hoping he could go borrow a camera and some lights from Dr. Uzuki, up in the mountain peak. If that's all it is, I'll be glad to do it for you. Could you? Oh, but I couldn't, possibly. Don't worry, it's no problem. Anyway, doesn't exactly make me feel comfortable having Dan handle such delicate instruments. What's more, I might have a chance to eat some of Yuri's cooking if I go to the doc's place. That's my Faye. Well, I'll go up there now and get them for you. Oh. Hey, wait. Huh? Is there something else you want me to get from Citan? Oh, God, I'm gonna stumble over that a lot. No, it's not that. Question mark? Faye, have you ever thought about things this way? If you had only been born in this village, if we'd only known each other earlier on. I mean, God, your rippling pecs. Oh, it's nothing. I'm sorry. Well, I think I'd better get going now. Oh, okay. Be careful on the mountain path, and give my regards to Dr. Uzuki. Man, I need that hair, Giga. Is this fate? I feel so foolish. Who am I kidding? I mean, you can always break off the wedding, go be with Faye. If you do that about right now, you might escape the horrible death the entire village is about to receive. I'm telling you, you get one freebie right before honeymoon. Everyone knows this. I'm sorry, if saying this village is doomed is a spoiler, then I got nothing. Oh, hey, look, it's a floating... Ah! Right, we're back to random encounters. Oh, God, okay, okay. Let me try to process. So we've got rainbow power. We've got our action bar, we've got AP, which is at 0, and we got 50 health. Okay. Okay. Sprites are good. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Yeah, no, animations are legit, 100%. So we got 7x out of that. Cool. 100 gold. That's not the menu button. Let's get a real save in. Enjoy that. That's probably the only real save we're ever going to use. Ever. So, back to real saves. Okay, so... Oof, alright, let me jot down some quick and dirty thoughts here. I don't know, Lord Irma. Okay, hang on. That would actually go under here, wouldn't it? Anyways, no, the village is fine, mostly because I took a derailment to show off several other PS1 RPGs. You know, I could do even more. Actually, I am curious of something really quick. I'm sorry, just give me 1 second, please. Do I even have... I guess I have this. Why is this where my save state is? Oh, that's why. Okay. Yep. Oh, this is cool. Okay, so it looks like this is also 3D on 3D. That's what I was curious about. I couldn't remember. We've even reviewed Legend of Legaia, and I couldn't remember. But yeah, as you can see, the sprite quality in Legend of Legaia is, it's worse than FF7, is how I'm going to say that as nicely as I can. Oh my god, look at that town. Oh, look at that town. Oh, yeah. Look at our main character. Oh my god! Look at this! Look at this! Behold our glory! So, sorry, this is a good comparison point, because this is another game that tried to have 3D backgrounds, and well, you can see the sacrifices they made to make that happen. Let's see. We already shut off Lunar. That's kind of a different thing. Do I have any others? I guess I kind of don't. I got Vagrant Story. I got Suikoden is pretty much full sprite stuff. Okay, Vagrant Story. Sure, I don't have anything here. So, Oh, I haven't played Vagrant Story in... What? 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 What's with the dancer lady? What? What's with the dancer lady? Why does it keep cutting back to the dancer lady? Oh my god. That is so 90s. That is so 90s. Okay, yeah, blah 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 blah. Oh wow, okay, so 3D on 3D, but woof, look at that. Is that? Oh, I haven't seen the beginning of this in a long time. That's an interesting decision. Look at that. That's actually heavily stylized. But, like, not in the way I expected. Like, it's very paper mache, almost. Even the people are very... That's not what people look like. Yeah. I'm kind of with it, actually. Huh. When did Vagrant Story come out? Which year? Yeah, gotta have the... 2000. That's what I thought. Because I was pretty sure this is a Chrono Cross contemporary. You'll notice also almost every scene is actually very small in terms of how many assets are in it. Like, for example, here, you've got the wall, we've got the building, and that's it. Everything else is all blacked out, and probably not even there to limit the rendering problems. Also, some actual camera work. Actual usage of the camera from a directorial perspective. That's nice. Anyways, we're never playing this. Alright, so, where the hell was I? Do I have a save for this? Technically, yes, but this isn't what I wanted. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Because I imagine this is going to look like 3. I don't remember. I've never played 4, so... Yeah, Vagrant Story is set in Ivalice in the same way that 12 is set in Ivalice, aka not. Wow, I just crashed Breath of Fire 4. Check that out. Okay. Fine, I'll play Xenogears. I guess. Alright, let's level, first of all. 2 more combats built. I still need to figure out what the hell's going on with regards to combat, and I honestly still don't know what's happening, so we're going to just kind of brute force our way through it. Figure out what the hell the game wants from me. Okay, so... Doesn't seem like it matters. No, that... Okay. Yeah, let me just pull up the manual here. Okay, so... There's a Konami code to make even more boobs happen! What?! It's called the B&B mode. No, nobody explain. It's like ATB-ish, I think? I'm not even sure. Because there's an ATB bar at the top. I got some hob jerky. But yeah, we're back to random encounters. Encounter rate doesn't seem terrible. That's nice. I do still prefer the Chrono Trigger / Chrono Cross / Dragon Quest method, but that's preference. So, hang on. If I just do a light attack, I should have a bunch of AP that I can then cycle around. Okay, so that generated 2, but what if I do this? I mean, now the enemy's dead. Whatever. Level. Whatever, I can play with it. I'll bumble through. It's okay, we don't have to worry about fuel yet, so that's nice. Do we heal on level? That's a good question. Oh, Kazuki's house is over the bridge and up to the north. Okay, so doing a 3 AP attack meant that I have no AP generated. So I have to do a 1 AP attack and then back off to generate AP. I don't think I can spend AP yet. No, I can. Wait, that costs EP though, not AP. Okay. Combo! Nope, don't have that either. I have no idea, Crazy Norse. Depends on the encounter rate. As I am fond of saying, even if F6 is going to get the encounter rate negative. Well, except for the Pixel Remaster version, obviously. You know, Anditty's right. If this game actually had map visible monsters, it'd probably be bugging out the PlayStation, just like it was doing in Chrono Cross during that one ending. Well, it was actually like 3 endings, but still. Oh, it's you, Faye. Cliff's edge collapsed from the heavy rain we had recently. You're alright, Faye. You can do a big jump to get across it, but I'm too scared. What's a big jump? How could you forget? Big jump is done by pressing the triangle button while running with the circle button held down. You jump out further than the regular bump. Faye, you never have any problems. It's not fair. It's nothing bad will ever happen to Faye. Listen, as you know, you can use your legs. Legs exist. Combat's much quicker than Cross, which is good because there's a whole lot more of it. Making my point, game. I mean, you've already seen me do more encounters in this first screen than I did in the entire first dungeon in Chrono Cross. Look, these onions are they're hankering for Hero Flash, okay? And that's a sex joke. They looked at Faye and they were like, whoa! Please? Game. Oh, god dang it. I'm on top of the chest. Ah! Received Aqua Soul. Thanks, game. Again, everybody wants Fae, even the monsters. That's canonically the reason why random encounters happen. It's monsters just lunging at Fae like, take me! They're thirsting. That's what I'm trying to say. It's actually a good question, Rax. I don't know. I should have counted. How many encounters was that? That was for one screen. Not counting when I, ran in a circle. That doesn't count, obviously. Tater quack. Let's see, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that was 9. Not counting running in a circle. Yeah, the second disc... I don't know what we're going to think of the second disc from a review perspective. Because we actually have a standard when it comes to content that isn't in the game. And that standard is, generally speaking, we don't give anything for it. Because it's not in the game. Right? Sure, Triaxia, what do you got? Oh, I can't loot him. It's even better than that. This is one of those never going to be finished games. They're never going back to this game. It is in legal hell. Pretty much, Crazy Norse. Isn't it great how people in suits can just decide, no, we don't want this IP to continue. Why not? Because, screw you. And that's pretty much their reasoning. Like, there's no benefit. There's no financial reason. It's not like they make money off of it. Hi, Midori. It's a nice day to play outside. How about we feed the birds later? Oh, Faye, welcome. Hello, Yui. Where's Doc? My husband is tinkering with his junk out in the backyard. I should have guessed. Does he ever get sick of playing with that stuff? Well, okay, I'll go out in the backyard and see if I can find him. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I bet every single one of us could come up with at least one IP that we care about that is dead because of a suit. Where are you, Doc? What's going on? Oh, this is no good. Why do they use such inferior parts? This is why their intervention strat. Doc! That's where you were. Oh, Faye, good to see you. Are you alright, Doc? What are you doing all the way up there? I thought I would try to restore the land crab. Oh, and that explosion? Nothing to worry about. Could you wait a while? I'm just about ready to call it a day. Oh yes, there's something interesting in the storeroom. Why not take a look? Okay, Doc, I will, but please hurry up. It'll get dark before you know it. No, I do not, Trihexia. So this is what Doc was talking about. Let's see. What's so interesting about it?
I must give everyone an evil voice, Giga. Especially you.
What is this?
Mr. Red does not have an evil voice.
Mr. Red canonically sounds like this.
This music, I've heard it before somewhere. What do you think? Not bad, huh? Doc. Hello again, Faye. Sorry to have kept you waiting. This music is a mysterious thing. Sometimes it makes people remember things that they do not expect. Many thoughts, feelings, memories, things almost forgotten, regardless of whether the listener desires to remember them or not. Better than I thought it would be, Spartan. Doc, what is this? It was excavated from an old ruin that is still under repair. Obviously, it's an audio device of some type. Long ago, people would listen to this melody, just as we're doing now. At times, they would have been cheered up, while at times they would have been made to cry. By the way, what brings you here today? Oh, yeah, that's right. Alice asked me to borrow some camera equipment from you. Oh, yes, your wedding is tomorrow, right? Understood. We better get them ready then. Oh, and dinner should be ready soon. Would you like to join us? Would I ever? I was hoping you would ask. I still have some cleaning to do out here. Would you mind giving Midori some company back in the house? Okay, take your time, Doc. I'll go ahead and eat when dinner's ready. Go right ahead. But I will not be held responsible if you get a stomachache from eating my wife's cooking. Doc, I feel strange when I listen to this music. I feel something warm inside. Just maybe because you have someone living inside of you. And he too must have liked this music a long time ago before he became a part of you. Is Timothy and Alice's wedding really tomorrow? Might actually be better to live an ordinary life in this condition. Son of a man. Well, anyways, suppose I better adjust the gyro at least. Huh? This cannot be. Is this an omen? You haven't played FF7? Alright, Mr. Red, stop screwing around. Go play real games. Right now. Get to it. Chop chop. What is going to happen? Start with Super Bob. That was good. Your cooking never fails to impress me, Yui. Thank you for such a delicious meal. What's your secret ingredient? Pot. What? Yeah, I lace it with marijuana. Oh, man. You're welcome. You like my cooking that much? I'd be happy to cook for you anytime, Faye. I will bring the equipment you need to the village tomorrow morning, myself. Does not exactly make me feel comfortable to have you handle such delicate instruments, I'm afraid. Where have I heard that line before? That's alright by me. See you tomorrow, Doc. Good night, Yui, Midori. Good night. We're looking forward to the wedding. I mean, Faye's a puncher. He's not a delicater. Good night, Doc. Yes, good night. Oh, Faye, please be careful. I mean, the path is dangerous when it's so dark. What's wrong, Doc? It's nothing to worry about. Nothing bad will ever happen, ever. So you'll never hear me ultra praise FF7, but you know one thing FF7 does really, really well? And I mean this. The gameplay. Everybody always talks about the story in these games, but I have to mention that FF7, which again, was, for all intents and purposes, a SNES game, made by the team that had perfected their craft by that point, has a lot of good gameplay design decisions. It has one of the best alternate leveling systems in the business. It has excellent boss design, some of the best boss design of the FF series, actually. It has excellent pacing, it has good dungeon design, it has good like little mini games and side stuff, it has good progression and a very well designed overworld. And like, it's good on the gameplay axis. It also is one of the 2 best FFs when it comes to quality of life features. The little micro stuff I like to praise. Stuff that makes the game very smooth to play, right? Little things like how the menus interact with each other, things like that. By the way, if you're wondering, the other FF that has wonderful quality of life features is 6. What's that? Oh, hey. Is it that time already? Only took us 2 hours to get here, because I really dragged my feet. Giants. Faye! Doc, some flying objects went towards Lahan. So you saw them too. Judging by their shadows, they appear to be a group of gears from our neighbor country, Kislev. Those were gears? Oh no, they're heading directly for Lahan. Ones I just saw? Let us make haste. Right. So I didn't mention the story of FF7. It's still good. In fact, it's great. But FF7 is fascinating. If you were to go through FF7, I actually have been very tempted to do this someday, and assign a number of quality, even just like between 1 to 10, right? To every single line of dialogue in the game. And then map out where that dialogue is relative to how far you into the game. You will notice a trend where almost every scene, every area, every section of the game, the localization just gets worse and worse and worse the further into the game you get. Everybody remembers the weird, awkward localization at the beginning. What most people don't remember is the sentences that aren't English towards the end of the game. Whole swaths of dialogue that isn't dialogue. As I've mentioned during the Chrono Cross review, one of the original reasons I got into this business as a streamer was to explain the story of these games to people, because the games didn't do a great job of it themselves. FF7 is one of those. No. Lahan's... Oh yeah, flashing lights warning. Again, by the way. Oh, Jesus Christ. That actually hurts my eyes. Alice? Timothy? Dr. Uzuki, Faye. Doctor, they just came out of nowhere and landed right in our village. I know. What on earth are they doing starting a battle here? That's actually a good question. Like, legitimately, any soldier worth their freaking salt would be like, let's take the fight out of Metropolis, right? Like, there's plenty of reasons to do that, too. You've got a forest right over there if you want terrain advantages. But no. Let's fight in the village. You okay? Yes, but it's Dan. We can't find him. I'll go look one more time. Alice, go ahead. Get out of the village. No, Timothy, wait. You, Alice, and the rest of the villagers should evacuate to a safer location. Doc, you know I can't just leave Dan behind. Timothy? I understand how you feel, but leave the rest to Faye and me. The primary thing you should be concerned with is your own safety. Timothy, your responsibility is to protect Alice. No matter what, don't let anything happen to Alice. Okay. It's just as Doc says. The two of you should get out of the village now. Don't worry about Dan. Knowing him, he is already evacuated and is waiting for you. I guess you're right. Okay, Alice, let's get Dr. Uzuki and Faye. Let's let Dr. Uzuki and Faye handle it from here. Yes, okay. Thank you, Doctor. But Faye, please look out for Dan. What do you think I'm going to do? Go! If he still happens to be in the village, I'll be sure to save him. Please shut up and get on with it. Okay, let me go ahead and share an anecdote. Now, I'm not sure where I'm going to sit on this one. Hello, cat. Once upon a time, back in the ye old day, a friend of a friend. Yeah, that's hurting my eyes. Stop it. A friend of a friend hated this game. And it's for a very specific reason, and you just saw it on camera. It's the fact that people will not shut up. Almost every story beat is followed by someone talking for too long. Put very, very simply. Now, I don't know if I agree with that or not. This is their opinion, and again, I've never even beaten this game. But it's something that's stuck with me ever since, because that person actually put the game down as a consequence of it. They made a direct comparison, which I never forgot. In Xenogears, if you're not supposed to go to a specific spot, what'll happen is they'll be like, oh, we shouldn't be here right now. We should go to other place. And it's like in pink. You know, it's like highlighted. We should go to other place. Yes, other place is the place we should go. All right, let's go there. And in FF6, if they don't want you to go someplace, they put an undefeatable boss right at the front door. Anyways. Hey, please go around the village and guide the stragglers to a safe location. Okay. Doc, you be careful, okay? You too, Faye. See you around, J. Palmer. Two, Blade Duval. Oh my god, this is hurting my eyes. Eh? Oh. Oh, yeah. Not that I'm sad or mad that there's anime in this game. But for those who don't remember, anime in this era of history was actually quite expensive. So just add this on top of the budgetary problems this game was already having. Yeah, they really blew the budget on this game. Faye? Wait, Faye. Yeah, I actually talked about this during Mega Man X4 of all games. Mega Man X4 blew an inordinate amount of its budget just on the anime because they hired an actual studio to do it. No, a pre-existing studio. Do not do this, Faye. You must not fight here. Didn't we just see this? I feel like we just did this. Oh, well, we've seen what ground combat's like. This is what mech combat's like. Identified lamb. Ignis dialect. No piloting experience. Easy mode set. Synchronizing input interface with pilot's normal reflex time. You have 1200 fuel. Running to pilot. Combat mode. About to enter combat. 1200 units of fuel left. Utilize command ring in upper left of screen to select attack. Then use these buttons to commence auto attack sequence. Power and fuel usage differs with type of attack. Charge restores 30 fuel, which is not a lot. Warning, enemy gear is now preparing to attack. Terminating help mode. Oh, by the way, of course we're a Kung Fu mech. Duh. You know, honestly, and I'm going to be very honest about this, I don't know why we suddenly have a mech. I thought there was a person in this mech. Like, we even saw them grinning and laughing maniacally at us. So I missed something there. Maybe we were supposed to, like, kill them? Yeah, I'm sure. I accept that I missed something. Moving on. Important thing is now we've got a mecha. A kung fu mecha. Reinforcements, huh? On my right, too. Damn it. How many of them are there? Oh, no. Hello, Cap. I guess there's no choice but to fight. Faye! Well, you're fighting. Oh no, this is not good. If he awakens here. Doc. Dan? You alright? What on earth are you doing here? Do you not know how worried Alice and Timothy are? I'm sorry, Doc. I got out of the village earlier, but I came back. I just couldn't bear to think of leaving my sister's wedding dress behind here. You returned to save your sister's wedding dress? You are such a sentimental little boy. Not the word I'd use. Let's evacuate to a safer spot while Faye has her attention. It appears that they are after that gear Faye is in. Faye's inside that monster? Faye is bound by the dark, cruel destiny of God. That's why we're all sitting here yammering about it rather than running! Get out of the town, you idiots! Come on now, Dan. We better get away from here. That's the second time I've said that. Dan! Oh, for Christ's sakes. Timothy! I knew you were still in the village. Boy, I'm glad you're okay. You are so stupid. You're all so stupid. Seriously, if I'm sorry, if Timothy and Alice had actually just run, they probably would have lived. Frickin' morons. Timothy, no! Out of the way, you bastards. Stop it. I said stop it. No! Oh no, Timothy's dead. Although that does mean his sister's available now. Dan's sister. So they're all dead. Alice is dead. They're all dead. Should have run. Yes, Kennex cow. Huh? Where am I? Doc! Oh, you finally gained consciousness, Faye. Doc, what happened? Where's Chief Lee, Timothy, Alice? What did I... Well, yes, that, You murderer. Dan? Huh? Dan, what do you mean? Faye, it's because you had to go and get in that monster. Alice and Timothy, the people of the village are all killed because of you! You killed everyone using that monster, and not the other guys who were using their mechs to literally gun down civilians for no good reason. Yes, I know why they did it. It's still not a good reason. Why did you have to fight in the middle of the village? How do you even know how to operate such a monster? Mother? Where's Mother? See, I told you so. I said allowing someone we knew nothing about into our village would spell disaster. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Yeah, okay, you're right, Righteous Hand, but I just... As I'll talk about in a second, I actively hate this intro. I actively think that this is a bad intro. It does everything wrong and doesn't do anything interesting. It's the doomed hometown without anything that makes it engaging. There's nothing to be gained from putting the blame on Phelan. What is more, you know Faye had no control over the malfunction of that gear. I know that, but... I hate you. Like, I know the game picks up. But this intro is just... I'm just confused by this. In fact, given that we know how this story was constructed, it makes me wonder if this intro was not part of the same writing session, if that makes any sense. Like, let me try to explain this differently. One of the common problems most writers run into is they know what they want the meat of the work to do, and they know where they want the work to go, and they don't know how to start. This is actually a really common thing. In fact, it's actually funny because there's two common problems with most writers. They don't know how to start and they don't know how to end. But I'm focusing on the don't know how to start thing. Because they clearly knew where they wanted the story to go. It's very obvious, Krellian, hello, that they knew exactly where they wanted the story to end. So that was lined up, no problem. And they knew where they wanted the bulk of the story. Okay, sure. But I feel very strongly that they didn't know how to segue the player into the events of the game. That's just my vibe. That's pure analysis. I don't have any evidence of that. And see, that's the question, Righteous Hand. How do you start a premise like this? How do you actually get things going? Now, yeah, they defaulted to the bog standard. That was what they did. They showed an anime sci-fi cutscene. Then they had a massive exposition dump. And then they have the doomed hometown. It's a very strange way to start things off. And I don't mean to come down too harsh on this, but this is reminding me of why I was so de-invested in this game and why I ended up putting it down. So if you stay here, this atmosphere is not going to be very joyful, if you know what I mean. It's probably for the best for you and all the other villagers here if you leave. I guess you're right. This disaster happened because I was here. I 100% guarantee you this is a quit point, because I know 2 people personally who quit the game right here, right at this scene that we're currently in. So head to Blackfoon Forest, go down to Ave. Okay, I understand, Doc. Anyways, please tell me to take care of the rest of the things here, Doc. Okay. Of course. Do take care now. Yeah, intros and outros. Now, what's interesting is I'm not sure how this game's outro is going to score, really. Killed everyone with that monster. Murderer! My sister! Give me back my sister! That is definitely spoilers, Nar. Would I say quitting this early into what people know to be at least a 4-hour time is weak disposition? No. If you're sitting down for a full course banquet and the appetizer is so bad that you actually want to put it down, it's not really that out of bounds to ask for a refund at that point. Frankly, the intro needs to land. It's kind of important. Yeah, it's flubbed intros kind of ruin works. Shows, movies, books, games. Yeah, first impressions and last impressions. There's a reason why I score intros and outros harsher than anything else. It's the only part of any review that is just kind of like shifted down a step. That's how I like to think of that. Admittedly, I don't have a good counter answer, frankly, because I'm just not that familiar with this game. Like, this isn't like FF6 where I can say, oh, do this instead. No, I don't know what would be a better intro. I sympathize with the writers. Because, again, if my analysis is correct, this is exactly the problem they ran into. They didn't know how to start the story. My knee-jerk answer, which is probably a bad one, is just do something a little bit more in medias res than this. Just jump right into the action, right? It's funny you say that, Breakfast Sampler. I returned this game. This exact game. Got a full refund for it. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's come back to that question later. Okay. Forest. Forest? Overworld looks way better than FF8. I'm just gonna say that. Forest. There we go. Okay, now, real talk, I don't really remember this section of the game very well. So we'll see what this is like. I'm anticipating random encounters. Wait, that's not a random encounter. That's not a random encounter at all. Okay, that's a random encounter. Tackle the tails up. What's a death blow, DC Maven? Hi, Ross. Welcome to my special hell. Oh, congrats. And yeah, there's no need to get defensive about the game. I understand this is a beloved classic. I get the territory. What's really funny is, if I'm not mistaken, I never got to the point where the plot took off. If I'm correct. I could be wrong. Arrgh! I was going to point it out specifically, but the sewers. Rex, if you know where that is. I believe it's chapter 10 of 22 of Disc 1. Which I know because I looked that up last night. Yeah. I'm 90% certain I reached Redrum and then was like, I'm good. Between everything, all the other issues I was having, I was good. I was done. What's really funny, if I can be personal for just a second, not reviewy, but personally. For years and years, I've spoken ill of this game with that kind of asterisk, well, I don't really know what I'm talking about because I never finished it, right? It's been quietly, I don't know what word to use, satisfying to me, that every time I bring up the sewers, people who actually do really like this game sympathize. In other words, it's nice to know it's not just me, right? It's nice to know that there's some issues with that part of the game. Oh, that's another thing. When I played this game, if you're paying attention to the timeline, I did not have a walkthrough, or a map, or anything. This is pre-GameFAQs era for me. I don't think so. I should mention I don't have a walkthrough this time either. I mean, I could find one, but I haven't looked it up. Ah! Now that'll be an interesting contemporary to compare this to. Yeah, so for example, DZ Maven is being a walkthrough right now. Apparently I should be doing triangle combos. Nothing anywhere indicates that, and I have no idea what that is. I was just going to start going ahead and start doing comparisons to be like, hey, let's see how this works. And just trying out different stuff. Please stop sharing info unless I ask for it. God damn it! Why is that run?
Katinayu tat vadaintuna akva. Valna rantak. Rana kalti. Throw down your weapon. Make one wrong move and I'll shoot.
Turn around. I said turn around. Okay. Yeah, manuals do not count. They never have, and they never will. Are you shaking? Be quiet. You don't seem to be one of the Kislev soldiers who are after me. But... don't move. I have orders to kill all surface dwellers. Lambs I come in contact with. It's part of my mission. It's nothing personal. I have a question for you. How do I get out of this forest? Are you lost? Just answer my question. How do I get out of here? Sorry, I'm looking for the way out of here, too. Oh. How long are you just going to stand here like that? If you're going to shoot me, then hurry up and do it. What an odd thing to say. Don't you understand the situation you're in? I don't care about my situation. Just a guy whose life is worthless. There's no point in me living anyways. Stay back. What are you aiming at? Here, shoot me here. Come on. Are you mocking me? Weird. Something's very wrong with you. You should at least resist a little bit. What's this? Who are you? Stop! Keep your hands off Ellie. Who? I mean, going as far back as FF4, they had tutorial houses in the game. So, yeah, tutorialization was a thing in games back then. When did FF4 come out? Anybody in chat? I legitimately don't remember. I know it's early 90s, but I don't remember when. Raijin learned. Okay. Are you alright? Hang in there. It was 91. Yeah, there you go. Oh, good. You finally woke up. You moved for so long, I started to worry. Yeah, actually, it's interesting because FF4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm going to stop there, all had pretty... I guess 9 and 10 did, too. And 12. Anyways, they all had in-game tutorials. Oh, yeah, Chrono Trigger also had an in-game tutorial while we're on the subject. What I find fascinating, I'm not trying to make a point here, I'm just saying, they have varying quality of tutorials. It'll be interesting to compare and contrast those when we get there. How are you feeling? Do you still intend to kill me? Then go right ahead and shoot me. But you'd better not do it while we're in the forest. Forest monsters hate loud noises, you know. Fine, don't talk to me if you don't want to. It wouldn't kill you to thank me for tending your wounds. Thanks, but you shouldn't have helped me. Don't think it'll save your life, though. It really doesn't change a thing. What are you so afraid of? I'm not afraid, I'm just being cautious. It's natural for me to be this cautious, considering I met such a suspicious, surface-dwelling lamb. Oh, don't you worry, I'm not going to do anything. Besides, you're much more suspicious than I am. Huh? So what's your name? I won't give my name to a surface-dweller lamb. What's with you and this lamb thing? We're both lost in the forest, surrounded by dangerous monsters. Should we at least be cooperating with each other until we get out of here? Good. So, what's your name? It's going to be hard for us to cooperate with one another without at least knowing each other's names. My name is Fei Fong Wong. You can call me Fei. I'm Elhaim, but my parents call me Ellie. Ellie, huh? Someone already knew that. Anyway, it's too dangerous to travel in these parts this late at night. Let's wait till daybreak before we continue looking for a way out of here. If that's okay with you. I guess we have no choice, do we? Okay then, Ellie. How about having something to eat? Anime. Wait, there is a tutorial house? How did I miss it? I was even trying to be thorough in town. Ugh. I suck. Oh no. It's weird stuff.
Wait! Hey! Don't leave me here! Wait!
Nice necklace.
You must be lonely here by yourself. Faye. Faye. Faye.
I was actually just running through my head where the other tutorial houses are. 4 and 6 and Chrono Triggers are really obvious to run into. I would say the same with 7s. 8's is kind of shoved into your face in, frankly, a bad way. Like, 8 is over-tutorialized. 9 kind of drifts back and forth a little bit. 10's fine. 12 varies. I'm curious as hell now. Yeah, 5 is just, it's in the first town. That's what I thought. 6 does something clever. It's in the first town, but you don't really have access to the first town for a while. In fact, South Figaro is functionally the first town. But the tutorial house is in Narsh. So in 6, what they do, and this is legitimately clever, this is why I like 6. 6 has a lot of tiny little details. When you first leave the cave, it forces you over here to the entrance to the town you just invaded, to the front door of Narsh. And there's one NPC visible on the screen right here, which just immediately kind of draws your attention to this one guy. If you talk to that guy, he says, "This is the tutorial house," and then walks inside, no longer blocking the path. Still skippable, but the game goes out of its way to incline you to being like, hey, there's something up here to look at, and then you've got your in-game tutorial. 4, it was just a town, a house in the actually in 2 towns, excuse me. In 5, it's in the first real town you go into. In 7, it's in that one area right by the 7th heaven. In 8, it's the frickin' computers. In 9, there's several ATEs. 9 slowly unfolds mechanics. For better for worse. 10 does the same thing. 10 does mandatory cutscene fights, which is not terrible. I mean, it's fine. I'm now debating 12s because I don't remember some of 12s. I remember like there's a few in 12s. Oh, 8s was terrible. 8 will probably get a negative for tutorialization. Because it's the worst type of tutorialization. That's not true. It's the second worst type of tutorialization. It's just dry exposition of, hey, do this here, do that here, etc., etc. I thought it did go into every building. See, that's what's bothering me. Hang on. I was making a personal effort to go into every building, and I apparently missed one, and that bothers me. Now, I admit I got extremely turned around because of the camera shenanigans. Well, what the hell did I miss? Okay, so there's this building, which, yep. There's some bland exposition in this area. There's Dan, who's going to be like, hey, you should do this thing, blah, 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 blah. By the way, you ever want to see a joke? Look up... shut up! Look up how long the speedrun is for this game. Okay, so... I talked to her. Yep. I'm pretty sure I went... God, I'm just say pretty sure at this point. Went in here. Yep. Talked to everyone in here. Yep. I know I went in here, too. Yep. Talked in here. Okay. Don't think I went in here. I did not go into here. Okay, so this is the room I missed. Hang on. Was there anything else I missed? That's the edge of town. Okay, so I also missed this room. Holy crap. Is there anything else? And that's where Alice is. So, okay, I missed 2 rooms. Sigh. My husband's love for the rock, paper, scissors, or RPS game, is ruining us. I hate them RPSs. Just recently, he even said he had a dream of receiving the hero title from the RPS king. If only someone could utterly defeat him to make him see reality. But he's just so good. Yo, you want to play RPS? 50G per challenge. No thanks. I'm not sure I have any money on me. Okay, I do. I has the money. Let's do it. That's the way, Faye. If you manage to beat me 5 times in a row, I'll give you a special reward. It's the kind of risk to make things interesting against such an amateur. Here we go. Hey, you were late. You cheesy cheater. Only cowards do that. Penalty's 15G. Come on, cough it up. What? I was debating. You did rock. You did rock? Are you serious? Yes, I win. Okay, we're done here. Good day. I'm the village consultant. But to tell you the truth, the village chief knows far more than I do. However, the chief is an awfully busy person, so I've been placed in charge of answering some of the more mundane questions. As a special for this week, we're lecturing on the techniques of martial... 4 typos in the intro. Martial arts defense technique. Wouldn't you like to learn more about it? Oh, Jesus. Okay, hang on. Alright then, allow me to explain the overall battle commands. During battle, there are 2 groups of commands you can choose from. You can toggle between the left and right directional buttons. Yep, first group includes most frequently used attack, defense, and key options. Second contains special commands, such as combo, escape, and the key blade. You fight by skillfully selecting from the 2 groups of options that best suits your circumstances. Ugh. Oh, I see. You wish to inquire about defense. Well, allow me to begin. By choosing defense, you can halve the damage your opponent does to you. Fighting is not just about being on the offensive. At times, it pays to hold back. When you find yourself in a pinch, it may be a good idea to leave the attacking up to other party members and simply choose to defend yourself from enemy attacks. Why is the text scrolling so slowly? I knew you were going to ask me about them. Well then, let me explain action points. There are 3 types of attacks, weak, strong, and fierce, each using a set amount of AP when performed. When all your AP are used up, your turn will end. Conversely, as long as you have AP left, you may continue to attack. In other words, action points represent how many attacks you can perform in the turn of combat. In the beginning, you will start with only 3. However, as you increase in level, your AP will increase accordingly. The secret in putting up a good fight lies in how you use your AP, what strengths of attacks you use, and what order you dish them out in. There are no options, period, near as I can tell. Like, if there's an options thing anywhere, please tell me about it. It's like, I do not see an options menu. At all. File! Okay. So... honestly, I am going to give that a negative. A total absence of any gameplay options in a PS1 game? Come on. Like, this is another example of that. I'm not going to judge it for hardware reasons. There's some NES games and Game Boy games I'm not going to ding for not having options. But, like... this is, I don't know the year. Hang on, when did this game come out? 98. This is 1998. We'd figured out options menus by now. Hell, we had rebinding already by this point in time. Back in 94. Alright, anyway, sorry. Back into it. Ahem. What can I do for you today? Hell, FF4 had... no, you know what? I'm gonna go nuclear. FF1 has options. Not a lot, but it does have options. At all. It has 2 options. Text speed and battle speed. Which is badly translated. But yeah, FF7 is a much better example. FF7 had plenty of options. It had, like, memory cursor, it had auto-run, it had changed whether or not the indicators on the map, it had changed the order of materia, it had, memory cursor, it had changed the backdrop, it had text speed, you know. Come on. Okay, so, attack option. Ah, you are bold. Okay, then allow me to explain to you a little bit about attacking. I am sure that you already know that there are 3 types of attacks, each of which use up a different amount of AP. The fierce attack uses up 3 points in a single blow. Hence, if you only have 3 AP, all will be used up by a fierce attack. It is possible to continually press the X button to keep obliterating enemies in one fierce blow, but you may find out that relying on this will have repercussions later. Okay, so don't just button mash. Okay. That's actually legitimately good info. Combo. Ooh, the combo option. I didn't expect you to ask about it. Well, then allow me to explain the art of combo. When you use the attack option, there are times when you do not use up all your AP. Okay. Such is the case when you eliminate an enemy by using only a fraction of your total points, or when you cancel midway through an attack turn. AP which don't get used are stored in an AP counter. When this counter stores up a certain amount of points, you'll become able to use combos. They're a rapid series of death blows let loose all at one time, and they tend to be rather ferocious. Any foe on the receiving end of a combo will likely die. At low experience levels, you probably won't be able to do much combo damage, but in time, you'll become more able to do more devastating combo maneuvers. Okay, I'm with it. Interesting you explained combos before death blows. Alright, next. When it comes to fighting techniques, I tend to be extremely fussy. I've started to study up on them recently. Okay, so abilities. You're pretty scholarly for a young'un. Listen up. That guided shot ability you already have is one of the many mysterious powers related to ether and ki. Not everyone has the talent to use such powers. People are each born with differing innate abilities. If that individual does have the gift, increasing in level will give birth to more powerful abilities. I see a lot of potential in you. Yeah, I am the PC. Thanks for the gold. I could go burn it on that stupid minigame. Buy some pencils and books with that. Right. Good. Ask away, young'un. As you already know, there are 3 strength levels for ordinary attack option. Weak, strong, fierce. This is the 3rd time we've told you this. Death blows are special chains of attack that first use some weak or strong blows to knock your foe off balance and then end with a fierce blow to do major damage. But first, you must master the use of weak, strong, and fierce attacks in order to be able to learn such death blow skills. To master these attacks, you should keep trying to do, say, 4 weak blows in a row, or 2 strong blows, or even a fierce blow accompanied by another type of blow. In other words, the way to learn new death blows is through frequent use of various combinations of the 3 basic attacks. Oh no! I'm not going to get the true ending. I knew it! Alright, here we go. More about death blows and their relation to experience levels. If you want to see how close you are to learning certain death blow skills, go to the menu screen and the status screen. And from the status screen, you can select skills, with meters showing the percent learned so far. If one of the death blows just doesn't seem to be increasing, you're probably using the wrong types of attack buttons. In that case, it might be best to try those attacks you normally haven't been using, so experiment. Remember, some death blow skills cannot be obtained until you've reached a certain level. If you've not attained that experience level, then it won't matter, even if the death blow's meter has reached 10%. In this case, you'll have to wait until your level of experience increases before you'll be able to learn to use that death blow. Okay. Did you know you can spin the world around? Whoa! Explore the world by using your own eyes and ears. That's how you make the gains in your life truly your own. If you're lost, be lost. There's no need to rush, is there? Nor do you have to explore the world using someone else's maps. Alright, I'm pulling up a map right now, out of spite. Hang on, let's first talk to Elvin Luca. Oh, good. You're lucky. You came at just the right time. If it's about the memory cube, don't hesitate to ask me. No one knows better than I do. Alright, good show. That's the spirit. You're pretty smart for an artist. Hey! Open up those ears and carve every word I say into that tiny brain of yours. I'll begin by explaining how to save your adventure. This is what saving is. I'm not reading out how to save. Oh my god! Okay, never mind. I guess I was gonna read that now. What? You didn't understand? Ah, gee. Well, all right. Let me explain once more. Make sure you're listening, then. This spinning and bobbing thing here is a memory cube I just spoke about. Fearlessly. Stand in front of the cubes area and calmly and composedly open up the menu screen. From there, you'll be able to save files. Ugh. When outside in the world map, you can save whenever you like. Probably. If you don't want to wind up crying later, make sure to save frequently, okay? So that's it for my concise summary. You took it all in this time, didn't you? Even a 2-year-old Dungarian monkey could understand my fantastic explanation 120%, right? I'm such a genius. Alright, now for the explanation fee. 28 gold. It's a bargain, considering you're able to receive such a perfect explanation from the likes of me. Come on, drop the excuses. Be a man. Pay up. Yes, thank you so much. No receipts given, though. Thanks, Luca. Well, there's only one more thing to do. Got this. Alright, everyone. Rock, paper, or scissors? I'm ready. This is it. This is it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do rock. Look, I like Mega Man, okay? What do you want from me? Rock! Whoa, you did rock too? Not bad, not bad. Let's do it again. Okay, now what? Now what? Rock! Whoa, you did rock too? Not bad. Let's do it again. Okay, rock! Whoa, you did rock too? Not bad, not bad. Let's do it again. Rock! No! I already hate this minigame. Anyways, meanwhile, in the present... Interesting. Yeah, now I know where death blows are. So, you see, DZ Maven? We were both wrong! That's not true. That's not true. You were right. I accept being wrong. I am worthless and terrible. Anyways, I've decided to give up on this game completely. We're going to move on to Planescape Torment, which I'm also going to give up in like 5 minutes. Just moving through my queue here. I admit part of the tutorial irritated me, but it's not for anything the tutorial did wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and jot down a positive for that. And we'll go ahead and get rid of that negative. Honestly, if Planescape Torment is somehow related to Chrono Trigger, I'm going to laugh. It wouldn't surprise me. Chrono Trigger was an influential game, and Planescape came out after it. You never know. Yes, there's only one Xenogears. Despite the branding, marketing, I don't know what to call that, of trying to connect the Xeno games together, really, they aren't. Not really. It's kind of like saying Dragon Quest VII and Dragon Quest VIII are connected to each other. You can kind of see where it's coming from, but no, they aren't. And if you're not familiar with that series, I'll go ahead and explain it to you, because I like talking about Dragon Quest. So Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 are all part of one cohesive story. Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6 are vaguely connected to each other because all exist within the same setting, but none of them really have anything to do with each other. And then 7, 8, and 9 have nothing to do with each other whatsoever. They're all just kind of their own thing. Ah! landslides. Okay. Ten is completely its own thing. It's an MMO. It exists in the MMO space. And 11... I think they haven't made up their mind what 11 is yet. As strange as that sounds, considering it's already out. Let's just say that 11 might connect to other Dragon Quests, and we'll just leave it at that. I honestly think we'll have to wait until 12 is out to really judge that. Yeah, I actually like the little onions. There's been 3 onions so far that have been like, here's how this works. Okay, so it looks like I just have that death blow now. Let me double check that. Yep. So I just have Raijin now. Okay, cool. I'm with it, I'm with it. Egg on my face. I think they're supposed to be boots, Giga. Excuse me, Giga. Or should I say Giga? Oh no, wait, I can't call you Giga. Sorry. I'm sorry, that's mean. I actually feel bad about that. I like the animations in general. Faye, yesterday you said your life was worthless. What did you mean by that? Why are you asking? Why? Yesterday you looked like you had a death wish. You think it wouldn't make me wonder? How did you get stranded in this forest in the first place? I should ask you the same question. Huh? Well, I ran away from my village. What's left of it. Village? You don't mean Lahan. It was a small village that existed between this forest and the mountain range. I ran away from there. Village? It was a nice, peaceful village. Everyone there treated me like family. Then last night, a group of gears suddenly appeared and started fighting right in the middle of the place. The village was engulfed in flames. I couldn't just stand there and watch Lahan be destroyed. So they're trying to say... Okay, hang on. I've got my answer. I was already thinking this, but I've got my answer. First of all, you notice how this is just repeating the same plot beats we literally just saw? This is... It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine, but it is irritating to me. So let's say Mr. Red wanders off and slaughters an entire train of people. And then, like, right afterwards, Mr. Red's talking to Rax. Mr. Red's like, Rax. And then you, the creator, have a choice. You can choose how we, the audience, see Mr. Red conveying this to Rax. Now, the cheap and easy way to do this is to just have Mr. Red repeat everything that just said out loud. This is what we call the bad way. This is just empty filler text. There's no reason for the audience to be reminded of something that, especially since it literally just happened. However, there are other ways to do this. You could do a simple fade to black. Fade to black is almost universally the time passes transition. So you could be like, Mr. Red's like, well, I went to the train and... Wait a second or two. Oh my god, that's horrible. And there you go. Boom. Done. Now that's cheap, but it's easy and it's effective and it gets across the idea very quickly. And it avoids the unnecessary repetition to the audience. You can also get clever with this. I'll actually point to an example. Super Mario RPG did a good job with this. And every now and again they needed to rehash plot points for characters. So they did these little plays, right? And they were extremely well animated. Funny, silly little moments of just basically a breather section of... And it was all very, very, very stylized of the characters essentially pantomiming the events. So in that way, the characters are conveyed, and of course we don't need to hear the repetition. The final way is what Lord Harrimont mentions. And I was going to list an example of it, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. It's when, like, I know I've seen this happen, where a character's like, here, I need to explain something to you. And they start animating, but there's no dialogue. And usually what you'll do is you'll fade the screen a little bit, like just darken the screen a little bit. And they're, they're just making gestures as they're explaining. And maybe occasionally show the person reacting like, and then, fade back in, and now the exposition has been. Suikoden 2, I knew one of them did that. Suikoden 2 did that. Actually, now that I think about it, I think FF7 did as well a couple of times. I can actually picture Cloud being like, for a few scenes. In other words, forgive me for spending way too much time on this, but there's no need for this unnecessary repetition here. However, this really makes me wonder why that freaking village scene was even in the game. Just axe it completely. We start off in the forest, wandering through the forest. The player has no idea what's going on, of course. There's a war, if you keep the opening text scroll. There's some alien ship thing. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. And we just going through the forest. We have a couple of little battles. We have some a little bit of tutorialization on how platforming works, which is actually pretty good. And then Ellie shows up. Oh my god, Ellie. And just run from it from there, right? Now, that misses out on a few things. We don't see Id. We don't see Saitan. Or Citan, or whatever his stupid name is. We also miss out on the tutorial house. But if anybody knows anything about game design, you can just move a tutorial house, right? So just move the tutorial house to the next town, right? Breakfast Sampler's right. You can also, rather than having this text on the screen right now, when we get to the point where Ellie's like, what the hell happened? Have Faye be like, well, you see, whoosh, Anyways, I'm just gonna not read this out loud. Blah, 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 blah. Someone was whispering to me, telling me to do it. Was it destroyed by the Kislev army? Faye? No, the village was destroyed by me. Random martial arts book in the forest. Okay, you're joking, but that sounds funny. I destroyed Lahan, I'm sure of it. What do you mean you destroyed it? I thought you were trying to help save the villagers. I did try to help. I actually took out a few gears. Got a lot of experience from it. But then I came under heavy fire from a new group of gears, and my friend Timothy was hit by a hail of bullets that was specifically targeted towards him. You kind of missed that part. I don't remember anything after that. The gear I was in went out of control. That's what the doc said. When I came to the village and everyone in it. Alice, she was such a... Alice and Timothy, oh god! Everybody! I killed them all! They died like animals! I hate them! Sorry. The gear. What about the village? Okay. Yes, the gear. If only those gears never landed in the village. Damn them. They're still giving chase. We've entered Ave territory. Ave territory. I'm not giving up now. This gear's too important. Yeah, we all knew that she was the one piloting it. Might have disadvantage now. What's wrong? Respond! Shrapnel in my back. Thruster's output is dropping. I can't maintain altitude. Damn it, everyone land, now! Regroup on the ground. We'll have to engage them. Yeah. Ow. Her knee's okay? Aim for the innocent village. It's the only way. If they'd never come to the village, never started fighting there, I wouldn't have tried to pilot that gear. It's all their fault, not mine! Coward. So yeah, actually, I'm just the game is making my point for me. They literally show us the flashback from Ellie's perspective, which is actually kind of cool. He's narrating the events, and then we see what she saw of those events, what he wasn't even aware of. That's neat. Yeah, just axe it. Just get rid of the village. Nobody cares about the village. I mean, really, does anyone care about Lahan? They're the ones to blame. If they'd never come, none of that would have happened. If not for them. Them! Faye cares. Does he? You're a coward. I just said that. Coward? Me? Yes, you're a coward. All you're saying is them. Don't talk as if you had no part in the blame as well. Oh, you know what? I take it all back. We have to keep the village in so we can get the RPS badge. I'm to blame? Yes, that's right. Of course, the direct cause of the battle was that a gear made an emergency landing in your village. But all Kislev wanted was the gear, right? They weren't invading or out to destroy Lahan. The real damage occurred because you climbed in a gear and tried to fight back. The village was on fire when we got there. So they're both wrong. Cool. Yeah, by the way, there's a character named Balthazar in this game that was written by Masato Kato. If that name doesn't sound familiar, he's the writer of Chrono Cross. I'm telling you, Trigger is related to everything. Whatever made you get into that gear? Not just anyone could pilot them, it takes training. There's no way a civilian could hope to pilot one. Besides, you should have been helping the villagers flee to safety instead. How can you blame the damage on a gear when it was your decision to fight in the first place? Why don't you take some of the responsibility yourself? Why are you putting all the blame on others? That's just running away. That's what makes you a coward. Well, if you put it that way, yes, that's right. I am a coward. I didn't realize my own strength and have been blaming what happened as a result of that on others. This is a lot of text. I'm a pitiful excuse for a man. But I just felt this rush of blood in me and I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself or help others. Faye, I'm... Shut up! What do you know? When I came to, I was surrounded by piles of rubble. I didn't know what had happened or what I had done. I remembered absolutely nothing. All I knew was that my hands could still feel... Okay, I literally have already given this scene a positive. I think I need to give it a negative. Are we drifting? Is this the beginning? Is this where empty text was born? Because there's no empty text before this. No, I'm dead serious. Think about this for a second. We talked about this. The NES and the SNES couldn't have empty text. They literally didn't have space for it, right? They did not have the literal space on the disc to put that much text in it. That's why they had to get creative with animations and camera usage in order to convey story, right? And then FF7 is a SNES game, as we've talked about many times, and therefore doesn't really count. But here we are, and I think this is it. I think this is the beginning of empty text in these games. The only things that penetrated the gear's barriers were screams. Screams accompanied by the stench of blood, the sound of crushing bones, and my own curses. Look at my hands. Can you hear their voices? Can you understand this feeling? The feeling of having destroyed your village with your own hands? Of not being able to do anything for the children left behind? Now they have nothing, I have nothing, I have nowhere, no one. I didn't want to get in it. I had no choice. There was no other way. This is a lot. Oh my god. We're not at disc 2 yet. Disc 2 is like nothing but text. That's an exaggeration. Why did I go and say that to him? Because you were getting defensive.
You talk as if it's not your responsibility.
Oh hey, it's the scene we literally just saw!
I didn't do anything.
They died because you had to pilot the gear and stuff.
I get it. I know.
It wasn't me. Can't you understand?
Told you. Boobs and blood.
Not just anyone can pilot those machines, you know.
I didn't do it.
Why won't you take responsibility?
I'm not so strong.
Why are you trying to put the blame on others?
I'm not.
Actually, yeah. Crazy Horse. Ew, bloody boobs. Ew.
Coward. That's right. I'm a coward.
Wait. I know that voice. Who voices Faye? I know that voice immediately. Oh my god, Cam Clark is Krellian. I didn't know that. Here it is. Yeah, it's Brian Tochi. He's in Command and Conquer, but that's not where I recognize him. He's also in WoW, but that's also not it. He's apparently a regular voice actor for Leonardo. No, not that one. The other one. Yeah, at this point, most voice actors have been in World of Warcraft at some point or another. Okay, so this is not the connective tissue I was expecting, but the guy who voices Faye was in Star Trek. The original series. I mean, he was also in TNG, but he was in TOS. He was one of the kids during And the Children Shall Lead. That is not a connective tissue I was expecting here. Yeah, that's a deep cut. That's not where I recognize it from. I'm pretty sure I recognize him as Leonardo. Anyways. Yes, that's right. I am a coward. I mean, we've already heard literal Star Trek sound effects in this game during the opening cinematic. Hello? Hi. Da-na-na-na. How's her health? Let's go ahead and pop a potion here real quick. Yeah, exactly right, Sam. Someone designed this 3D mutant thing and it became a boss, and here we are. I'm telling you, the more you understand that, the more a lot of bosses across all RPGs, like from any generation, make a lot more sense. This goes back to the NES stuff, right? For those of you who have not heard me say this, because I've only said it about 1,000 times, what tends to happen in game production is the artist will sketch or render or otherwise design a thing, right? A giant jellyfish, a squid monster, a bee thing, or like a giant hornet, a T-Rex thing. And it's like, well, we bothered to put together all the work and effort into this thing, so we're going to throw it in at the next part that needs a boss fight. And then there's just a random boss fight. Probably my personal favorite about this is Breath of Fire 3, which has a whole lot of, boss fights periodically. Let's go ahead and do this. See what kind of damage we do with this. 4! Okay, that's not great. Ow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm picturing the T-Rex being like, "Are you okay? Do you need to get something out of your system?" As we're just like, poke, poke, 1 damage, poke. Are you all right, sir? Except it's in T-Rex, it's like, rah, 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 rah. And we're like, die, die. Yeah, T-Rex is just like, what? Oh, I guess I should take action. Hey. Thanks, Titan. Hey, I've been searching for you. Here, you can use this. Actually, yeah, Ventures. If we ever get to such a point. Hold on a second. To tell me I can use it is one thing. I'm going to eat Ellie. Damn it, I have no choice. Get in the mech! Faye. Sorry. If it looks like I'll go to control like last time, shoot me! Let us pray that won't happen. I was trying to turn Faye into like a play on Shinji, but I could come up with anything. Fangy? I don't know. Yeah, it's an Eva joke. Sound effects are wild. I've heard these so many times in so many things in this era. Wee, wee, kong, kong. Just stop breathing on me, please. Oh, that's... okay. Listen, I would casual, but I've got a Kamehameha for 0 damage! Oh my god! There we go. Yeah, this is Therapy Rex. He's just here to, hang out and be like, look. I got your back, dude. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. Just work it all out. Enjoy that level. Does that level make you feel better? Tell me how it feels. Oh, I just fell on Ellie. Faye, are you alright? Yeah, I guess so. That fight with the Rancor was remarkable. An ordinary gear could not defeat that monster, and you certainly keep yourself in good shape. How'd you bring this here, Doc? This? Oh, you mean Veltal? Veltal? This is the gear that destroyed our village. Why did you bother bringing it here? I never want to see another gear again. I understand how you must feel. But in order to protect yourself, you need a certain degree of strength. Even more since we are being pursued. I agree, a certain degree of strength is needed for self-defense, and if it weren't for this gear here, Ellie and I'd be in that Rancor's stomach right now. Its power goes beyond what is necessary. Does one really need the power to destroy everything? I don't need that kind of power. I hate gears. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Gears of War either. Faye, using power being used by power, is that not a problem of the heart? If humans do not use their power for wrong, it can be a good thing. I believe such power can help us. In that respect, I know you'll be fine. It sure helped you out this time. Yeah, and last time I killed a lot of people. We're currently at a 50% success rate. I want to believe that, but something is holding me back. This gear. Well, whatever. At least Ellie is safe now. She seems to have come too. Huh? I am Saitan, friend of Faye's. You almost did not make it. If Faye had not helped you, I hate to think what would have happened. But I was not too pleased with his rashness in trying to take on that Rancor with just his bare fists. Bare fists? Well, I am glad that you were able to find a use for what I brought you. Huh? Let us just say we are borrowing what the Kislev army left behind. Oh. Thank you, Faye. This makes twice. Don't mention it. I'll just put it on your tab. It is getting dark. Let's make camp now. Start out early tomorrow. The both of you look tired, and I need to make some repairs on our friend here. Oh god, Zaitan. It's really similar. I have no idea how you're supposed to pronounce it. I don't even care. There's no use. The knee actuator and bypass circuit are both ruined. The actuator can be fixed, but the circuit needs to be replaced. Oh. Having trouble sleeping, eh? Yeah. I imagine you would. You've had quite a day. This is the machine Faye used when the village was attacked. There's another machine left sitting on the outskirts of the village. Nil Bayer das Legus? Which translates to, it was yours, right? Just as I thought. The missing pilot from the gear that made an emergency landing in Lahan, and the mysterious woman found wandering lost in the forest are actually one and the same person. Judging from your uniform, I would also say you're with the military. Am I correct? How? Who are you? I checked the ID tags of the soldiers who died in the attack on Lahan. The design of their tags and the design of your uniform is the same. Do not worry. They were given proper burials. But they might not have been too pleased to die in a foreign land. Maybe. Does Faye know about you? I don't think he has realized yet. Most likely. Faye knows nothing of the world outside Lahan. I see. So how come... Well, in any case, it's best we do not pry into each other's pasts anymore. But let's just say that I know a little bit more about the world than most do. Anyway, I have a favor I must beg of you to do. What is it? Go straight ahead. You'll come to a road. And just keep going. Would you please leave us while Faye is still asleep? Unfortunate things keep happening around Faye. I'd like to protect him if possible. I do not want him caught up in any vain struggles. I'm also saying this for your benefit. Ellie, you do not belong here. Go back to your family. Do not worry. I will not tell Faye what your true identity is. I will just tell him you went to meet up with your family. No, it's not that. I did something terrible to him. So I want to apologize. Something terrible? Faye told me it was our fault. Are they seriously repeating the scene that was already repeating a scene? Oh my god, we're getting recursive. Thank you for the sub, 10-headed Hydra. Always appreciate you. And I think you're right, Righteous Ham. I remember reading about that. Putting that towards Red Dead, Redemption 2, Grim Fandango, Overlord 1. Okay, so. Listen, Saitan, he's cool! He's cool. He's not... He's... okay, we'll get there. He's in my notes. Let's just put it that way. So, they kept saying, if only they hadn't come. And then I called Faye a coward because he was trying to escape from the responsibility. But in fact, it was me who was trying to escape from taking the blame. If I hadn't crash-landed there, they would all still be living peacefully. All those innocent people wouldn't have been caught up in the actual tragedy. But I accused Faye. You're a rarity. I did not expect your people would ever think like that. To your people, surface dwellers are nothing more than domesticated animals, are they not? The shepherds, Abel, took control over the surface-dwelling lambs, possessing the right to give life and death unto them as they see fit. Exactly. Yet you seem to feel responsibility towards Faye and the villagers. Why is that? I don't know myself. At Jugend, I was taught that surface dwellers were stupid and base. And that's why we have to control them. But upon meeting Faye, something about him made you feel differently. He's just so dreamy! We're causing all kinds of awakenings today. Yes, he's no different than we are. In fact, he seems more powerful. He possesses something we don't. He also risked his life to save me twice. Most of your people would feel ashamed at receiving such an act. Yet you're grateful to Faye. It's probably because of my father. He had an open mind to surface dwellers. My nanny was a surface dweller. No one knew about her, though. Besides, I'm the same as Faye. The same? No, nothing. Never mind. I think I understand. I'm sorry. After just saying we should not pry. It is my nature, you know. My wife says I'm too persistent and I talk too much. But personally, I do not think I talk too much. It's probably best if you return home to your country. You really should not be here. I'll return to headquarters, but then what? You're worried. Yes. Worrying is natural. Even I used to worry once, too. You know? Oh, Saitan. Anyway, let me handle what to tell Faye. You better go now. Get out of here. We can't have you in the party. Has Ellie gone yet? Oh, so you were awake? Yes, I woke up midway, so I only heard part of what you two were discussing. Ellie, so that's what she is. Faye, she is... I know, it's not Ellie's fault. What happened to the village is all my fault. I took out all my pent-out feelings on Ellie. I'm the one who should be apologizing. Faye, do not blame yourself. It was not your fault either. You're just trying to protect the village. Thanks, Doc. Mother, how is everyone from the village going? Do not worry. Yui is taking care of them. I told her to leave soon and take them all to a certain place. We call it the slaughterhouse. Okay, Doc. Now, to think what we should do next. Shall we leave this forward and head for the desert town of Dazzle? We may have learned what Ava and Kislev are up to, not to mention getting some parts for Veltal. The leader of Ava is not going to sit back and let the other knight's fiasco go unpunished. Can we take the mech with us? Like, it can walk, right? I know. They literally pointed out that the knee was broken. This is backtracking. Nope! Okay.
Hey! Shit! Hey!
Could you stop flinging me, please? How'd you call me? Can I say hi? No. And here's the abomination with the suplex. Saitan does have some of the best combat animations that I've seen. Like, that's definitely going to be positive worthy. 100%. So far, the compass doesn't help at all. In fact, I've already started mentally tuning it out. I will also admit I'm already remembering how many times I would get relatively lost in a specific section because of samey textures. And this is going to sound weird, but when you give the player the ability to change the camera, it's kind of incumbent upon the designers to then add some kind of visual cues as to where to go, or where you've been, or where you're going. Otherwise, it's really, really easy to get turned around. Now, I'm not going to say this game doesn't do that, but I actually can name an example of a game that screws up in exactly that same manner. Quest 64. In Quest 64, most dungeons are literally just a corridor, with no indicator of which way you're facing at any given point in time. And when you get in and out of combat, it's very easy to get turned around. And you can go all the way back down the same dungeon you just went down. It's, I know it's shocking that Quest 64 does anything wrong on the gameplay axis, but here we are. So we should technically have another one, but we're probably not high enough level. Yeah. He's learning something. Huh? It's an airship of some kind. I would assume it is an aerial battleship from Ave. Aerial battleship? I never heard of Ave having anything like that. Of course, it does not come from Ave originally. Most likely it belongs to the Gebler forces stationed in Ave. Gebler? Yeah, special forces from the Sacred Empire of Solaris, known as Gebler. I am sure you've heard something about them. They're an organization providing large-scale military aid to the Kingdom of Ave. They showed up in Ignis several months ago. Until then, Ave was being routed by Kislev. With Gebler's help, they have managed to regain half their losses. They're now expanding their territory and gathering resources buried in the ruins. I heard the village elders talk about it. Is Ellie a part of that? Quite possibly so. Their group has superior technology and power. It's rumored they're here solely to get the resources in the ruins. I'm surprised they're using something as powerful as that ship. It must be to suppress the recent border skirmishes. So they're fighting the Kislev Empire? Yes, it seems they have found new ruins in the northern edge of Ave. Those ruins are under a 500-year-old temple. 3 weeks ago, Kislev took over those ruins. Most likely they're fighting over that. Thanks for the play-by-play, I guess. Ah, there's that overworld music. One of two songs I actually like in this game. From memory. Okay. We're right here, aren't we? But yeah, combat, like I said, the viscerality of combat's going to be pretty solid, I think. And the core combat itself is probably going to garner some positives, too. Might have to look up a few things. I don't know. I'm going to deliberately not look up a walkthrough for the combos yet and just see how much, I can do with it. I don't know if there's stuff to find on the world map, but I know that the game just dropped us about 10 feet in front of a town. When a game does that, it's telling you, don't go roaming, go to the town. So we're going to go to the town. We're gonna fail at going to the town, is what we're going to do. There we go. This is Dazzle. Yes, that is right. The desert town of Dazzle. This town's lively. This is the center for all excavations in Ave. People come from all over Ignis to try and find the resources buried in the ruins around here. Should be able to find out what both Ave and Kislev are up to here. Also, we have to gather the things we need to repair Veltal. Repair Veltal? Yes, we must exchange the broken parts to fix Veltal. Otherwise, we will not be able to fix Veltal. So we have to go to the Ethos workshop in this other part of town, so we can fix Veltal. Yeah, okay, Doc. Let's go check this place out then and fix Veltal. I haven't seen you around here before. Don't think that if you cause trouble, you'll get away with it. We're Ave army guards, remember that. But can you repair Veltal with it, Mr. Red? Soon this area will be totally excavated. We'll have to find another place with buried treasure. You can always just make one. I came here looking for fortune, but all the good sites are controlled by the military. I'll have to go home a failure. What should I do? I want to try my luck at treasure hunting. I'm pretty successful. The reason is I found a good partner. Even now he's looking at a map, analyzing our next step. I sure depend on my pal. This is the Ave guard station. This town is important because it's the base for excavating the ruins. The elite of our army are stationed here. This town is the center for all gear excavating in Ave. They take the generators out of the excavated gear to make new models. Protecting this town is essential to beating Kislev. I left my family at home to come here. I want to finish my duty here and go home. This is the Ave Army's Dazzle guard station. No civilians allowed. If you have no business here, please leave. I like their guard station. It's a small room with a bunch of crates and boxes. That's not even a dig. These poor people. The Kislev army is up to something in the lands north of here. But don't worry. If nothing happens, Gebler will back us up. That would be hilarious if, like, chicken soup was a healing item for the mech. I'm gonna fix. The generator sensor's broken. It's only I could sense buried gear generators. Without I'm ruined. Do you get it? This is Gebler Force's game. Ava's hardly ever lost to Kislev. I wish they said the Ethos would give out some of those new powerful gears. The Ethos? What do gears have to do with the Ethos? Only the Ethos has the technology to maintain generator-driven gear. The Ethos decide which gear gets which generator in which country. Yep, the religious organization controls the super tech for the tanks. Also came out in the late 90s, Alex. So, what do you want to buy? I've decided to kill you, Mr. Red. Hang on. Why don't you come over to this bus, right over here. So, this is a strange question. Is blue good? I know that's a strange question, but the game we just played, blue was down and red was up. So I don't think I could take that as red. Let's skip that entirely. That's true, the level ups are red. So it's 2 games in a row where red is up and blue is down. Hey, Cookie Dude. I was wondering if you were going to poke your head in for this one. The Battle of Kislev the other day at the desert ended us in a complete victory for us. We need the army because they get us generators from the gears found in the ruins. We'll never give this town and our ruins to Kislev. Death to Kislev, yes, yes. Thank you for the sub, Cookie Dude. Remember, you can pick up to 3 things. I will put that towards Slay the Princess, however. It doesn't actually work that way, Cookie Dude, but if you want to pick 2 other things, we can do that. There's a bunch of thieves out in the desert called Sandmen, so you gotta equip yourself properly. If you don't, only have yourself to blame. He apparently has a heal. I mean, Mos Eisley itself is kind of based on that. Got it. Let's see. Well, I feel bad for being wrong about DZ Maven. So DZ Maven, pick another game. Also, that makes me sad, Cookie Dude. Of the 400 games on the list, you don't care about any of them except Slay the Princess? Okay, so that's still at 70, so we haven't actually done anything to advance that one yet. Xenoblade 3. You got it. The prices are a little high. But we need these things to cross the desert. Yeah, that's why the prices are high. Welcome. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the UI at all. There's a couple of games in this era that have this not UI, excuse me. And I'm just not a fan of it. I never have been. Lots of adults come to dig up the ruins. They all come whining in big gears. I've heard a rumor that Kislev army attacked a nearby village. Is it true? Like, I'm not gonna ding it for it, but, like, this is just whatever, really. Unlike something like, to use a direct comparison, FF7's, which, in addition to looking cool, also has that customize it however you want to look at thing, which is really cool. Hang on, I wanted to double check something. Okay. But... lately the town's become so lively. It's nice to see the children so happy. They're all dead. They're all dead. Are all the soldiers here to dig up the ruins? I thought they were after the bad Kislev men. Guess I was wrong. I wonder who built all those ruins. Some say an ancient civilization which ruled this land long ago built them. After looking at the results of the geological tests, I had my doubts. My hubby acts so smart with his ruin theories. Why don't we just leave the ruins to the ethos? Yeah, let's just let the church handle the ruins and the super advanced tech. Nothing bad could happen from that action. Haven't met you before. So you want to ride out a sand buggy? A sand buggy? A sand buggy is a special type of vehicle designed for the desert terrain. Its tires will not get stuck in the sand. You really need them for long desert trips. Sorry, all our buggies are lint up for now. You want to wait for one? Some of those guys hunting for parts should be back soon. I see. Well, we'll come again later. Civilian worker gears have no chance against military worker gears in excavating. Even if we did have a military gear, we wouldn't be able to operate it. Yeah, thank goodness, am I right, TSB? The church has got our back. Yeah, you have to be right. Red has to be up. Just logically. But, like... Yeah, there it is right there. Proof positive. Red is up. Okay. This guy does not want to talk to me. Yeah, we did it. Who would have thought it? I didn't think it would go so well. Following after the army excavation scene, it's just like that. Poof, steal their treasure. In a place like this, you have to expect this kind of atmosphere. Yeah, but even so... Shut up! Dick. Are y'all yapping when Big Joe's here trying to drink in peace? Can't y'all shut up? Who do you think you are? I don't care if you're Big Joe or Big Schmo. You don't mess with me. Yeah, you should talk, Big. Can you dig for treasure as good as you talk? What's that you say? You're so tough. Always looking for junk laying around. Why don't you do something more productive for once? Yes, but you're a big pile of... Hey, stop it. This guy's trouble. He's looking wild. Ah, shut up. Just shut your trap. That's right. Run home to mama, little boys. Damn you. You'll keep. Coward little punks. Wow, this man sure likes to make his presence felt. 10 gold a night? No, I'm good, thanks. You drinking too? Booze is my life companion, especially in a sucky world like this. Everyone's searching for dough and dynamite. How unromantic. Yeah. Big profits for little work. It's the best way to make money. We'll make our money selling the parts we excavate to the ethos. The rarer the parts, the better the price. Dig it? The area around this town has the highest concentration of ruins on the southern part of the continent of Ignis. Ava and Kislev have been fighting over these ruins forever. I'm old now, I just want to live in peace. Lately, Grandpa's been in a blue and gum mode. Oh dear, the water stopped again. The workshop must be using it right now. I'm trying not to miss anything like I already did. I'll have to ask the Ethos headquarters to send a mechanic that can repair army gears. Oof. The rest of the country has an unusual interest in this area's ruins. Large units have come to excavate all the ruins. We're out of gear parts in the warehouse. I'm gonna have to order more from the Ethos headquarters. Requests for repairs keep coming at this pace. We won't be able to keep up. We should ask the Ethos headquarters to expand this workshop. That sentence. This is the waterworks. All of Dazzle's water comes from this pump. Water is needed for the maintenance of gears. So our waterworks was also built to provide a steady supply of water to the workshop. Listen, a church would never sustain a war just to stay in power. That is nonsense, insane. I think that's technically blasphemy. At the very least, it's heresy, right? Either way, I'm afraid we're going to have to bring you in, Crazy Horse. Wow, so this is the Ethos Workshop, eh, Doc? Yes, the Ethos Workshops are the only places that officially repair gears. See if we can get the parts we need to fix Veltal here. As they say, time is money, so we should do whatever we can as soon as we're able to. Huh? How can we help you? Sorry to bother you. Our gear is broken down, so I'd like to buy some parts to fix it. Tough luck, huh? Can you tell me what make of parts you're after? Yes, we're hoping to replace an X29 model injection bypass circuit. X29 model injection circuit? It's only used on the latest military models. We don't keep those kind of parts in stock here. You can only get such special parts by placing an order at the Ethos headquarters. This workshop is only for the repair of civilian gears. I see. Sorry to bother you. Sorry, we can't help you. Please don't touch it. It's being repaired. So, time to go conquer, buy from the church. Doc, do you have a moment? I need to talk to you. Yes, of course, Faye. So, Faye, what did you want to talk to me about? Well, Doc, it's about Veltal. We can't find the parts we need, so is it alright if we just don't fix it? Do not repair it. What's the problem, Faye? Well, we've been able to come as far as Dazzle on our own. So doesn't that show that we don't need Veltal as much as we thought? Actually, I've been thinking that once things cool down, I want to go back to Lahan and help rebuild. That's all I feel I can do now. I see. Well, if that's what you want, Faye, then fine, but I think we should try and move Veltal as far away from there as possible. Move it away, but why do we need to do that, Doc? It's only my speculation, but I suspect the incident that evening occurred because the Gebler Special Forces stole a Kislev military gear. Special Force? You mean Ellie's group? Exactly. When I examined the broken gear in the village, I realized the Gebler pilot was riding a Kislev gear. Must have had some new technology involved in it for the Kislev army to send a pursuit force after it. New technology? Metal gear? I suspect that what the Gebler force was out to steal a new experimental gear. I am sure news of the Special Forces' failure has reached the capital. They'll be investigating the Lahan area to reclaim whatever parts of the new gear that they can find. Hold on, Doc. Won't the Kislev army still be in Lahan too? Most probably. And in that case, there'll be a conflict between Ava's inspection team and Kislev's pursuit troops. And if they find where we've hidden Veltal, the armies will fight over who gets Veltal, right near Lahan. So, to avoid any problems, we should move Veltal somewhere else right away. But we can't fix it in order to move it. Right, but staying here will solve nothing. Fortunately, this is the center of all excavation work in the country. There's bound to be some information on where we can find parts. Anyway, fear is often worse than the danger itself. We should not let such fears hold us back. Yes, Saitan there is just playing Faye. I mean, he's a good guy. He's cool. He's cool. So how do we put in an order? Actually, that would be wild, Righteous Ham. Imagine if Faye wasn't gullible as hell, I think is the nicest way to phrase that. Like, Saitan is not exactly being subtle. That's amazing. You're doing digging right next to the town, too. This is an Ave-run excavation site. The machines and gears found here are valuable resources that could turn the tide of the war. They're indispensable to the war effort. Anyways, let us move on. We have more pressing matters to do than taking in the sights. Do you get it? I mean, yeah, he was a lot more subtle with Ellie, I noticed. I should jot that down now while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we're playing FF7. Reviewing it for the first time. I mean, Faye literally has amnesia from 3 years ago, so he's only 3 years old at this point. Which kind of makes all the crushing on him creepier, but let's not look at that. He's super hot, and that makes it okay. There's a sand buggy. That's it, Faye. I have thought of a good way to get to the parts we need for Veltal. Let's go back to the rental shop, rent out this buggy. I have no money, dude. Leave it to me. Just you wait and see. Okay. Yeah, he's got a hot ponytail in the 90s. He's also ripped. Like, seriously ripped. Sound like you were waiting for is back. Do you want to rent it? Yes, that's right. Do you have any rent we can rent right now? Of course. The keys are in the ignition. You can take it now. Well then, if I may. Faye, I'm going into the desert to search for parts for Veltal. Going to the desert? Doc, are you going to excavate some ruins or something? The Kislev and Ave armies are confronting each other in the desert all the time. There's talk that their forces often break into battles over ruins. What does that have to do with that gear? If I search the battlefields for the wrecks of such army gear, I should be able to find the parts we need. Besides, Veltal is a Kislev gear, so we need parts from Kislev gears. But, Faye, you are such a warrior. Things have a way of working out. Do they? You do not need to worry. So, why don't go kill some time at the bar till I get back? Doc. Wait, what's the halo effect? Are you letting him go through alone? Lots of fights break out in the desert. It's a real dangerous place. I heard about a group of pirates riding around attacking people on a sand cruiser. You really shouldn't let him go out there by himself. He said to go to the bar. I obey. I don't remember where the bar was. I think this is it. Booze is great, ain't it? I just live for that first drink after work. I told him not to drown in his sorrows, but he wouldn't listen, would he? Ugh, those ethos fools. Just because they can fix gears, they think they can act all high and mighty. How do they expect us to pay so much? Where's your friend? There's a war on in the desert. He just goes wandering off there. Huh. Your friends are important to you. Don't let them get away. Especially if it's a lady friend. Chin. Well, okay. Big Joe tells me I gotta go out now. It's time to hit the desert. We're gonna comb the desert. Do you hear me? Comb the desert!